Friday Festivities Day. And like Uso said, ya tú verás que va a llegar un demonio atómico y a fracatán, a gangana, y nos va a limpiar. Pa, pa, para, pa. Boom time! Let's do it!
Are you ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom!
I'm gonna start the show with technical difficulties, maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? Well, we are here. We are live! And it is Friday festivities time! I should turn on my camera. Now, we are doing this 100% on Discord today. I don't know how the video is gonna look. I don't know how the audio is gonna sound. So you guys gotta give me a thumbs up on this video and click boom. Let me know if the sound is going through, if you guys can see my ugly mug over here, and if you can hear the squeaky earth in the house. Shout out to Squeaky Earth. And please support this channel via a PayPal link that is pinned above in somewhere in there in the description box. Is somewhere around the neighborhood. Click on the description box under this video. Click on the links to join Discord to support. And most important, click the like. And share the show. The most important thing actually today is share the show because we need subscribers. We need to get to 1,000 ASAP. Not about the money. So if you want to buy me an energy drink, so I can pour in my thing and keep myself hydrated. Because we do this show kind of in the open air right here. So hit me up on PayPal. We'll really appreciate that. Loud and clear. Very good. Thank you very much. The audio you are hearing is via Discord server through this little ship. How do you call them? Turtle Bish headset. Appreciate it. I can see the squeak and hear Jose. Very good, Artie. We see that we have over here in the house Artie 96 numero uno. Steve. Patio Furniture. Steve. Oh, did I already say Steve? Yeah, maybe. Kuso, PR1. John Mongoose. Martin. No, I could do better than that. Martin. There you go. Anamorphic Mind. Justin Franks. Sean Hawkins. Farmer's Boy. Colon. Colon. When people mention your name, English speaking people, do they call you colon or colon? Because I know for me, when I read your name, it's colon. Period. It's not colon, it's colon. Carly Welsh, Xiao. Xiao could say hello or could say goodbye, right? I think so. I don't have snow. No, it's a sunny day today. I still got a couple, a long sleeve shirt. It's not hot, but I gotta keep myself protected just in case one of those front colds rush through. I don't want to get sick, man. Nobody wants to get sick. I appreciate everybody, man. We have had a lot of support, and we are looking up on 788 subscribers today. That is fantastic, man. Very, very good. Very, very good. I sounded like a whatever character, like Borat or something. Very, very good. Thank you so much for you guys' support. It's been good. Yesterday I took the day off. I was doing a bunch of chores around the house because it was the first day that it was warm after a very long cold week, and I was just moving stuff around. I created a post earlier that I wanted to do a show late, but I wasn't gonna do it. It was just too late. I left it for today, and this is the pre-show for my visit to. I'm gonna go to the movie theaters later, and I'm gonna watch Jackass Forever. if I was a Jackass fan, and because of that, I'm gonna go in. Sup, neighbor? You ready to do it? All right, all right. Good to see you. See you later. Sean lives in winters of 77 and 79 in comparison. The weather is damn near tropical. Yeah, it's good. You get it right your way, Jose. Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is good, man. We're having all kinds of. I did yesterday. I'm gonna do some color painting today. It's gonna be Oh, thank you for sharing that, bro. I forgot to share the show. You see, shame on me. Shame on me. I'm actually gonna create a post. I'm gonna share it on my own show because some people actually are. I don't know if everybody's receiving the notifications, but if I create a post, some people might see it. So I'm gonna type in live now, and somebody is on Discord, but I'm not looking at the Discord. Who do we have over here? All right. Posted the link on a post. We'll be here. We have Dr. Bob and Pay NASA. How you doing?
Doing good, you?
Good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Everybody can join. It's up to everybody to come in. I did a drawing yesterday. Inspire. I did it pretty much looking at a reference point on the internet. So we got over here Wiley Coyote on an Acme rocket, but that's Acme rocket. It is actually a SpaceX rocket, and he's pursuing the Roadrunner, while overflying is the Tesla Roadster car, dragging a banner that says "Boom Boom." Would you guys want to see that in color, in full color? If you see my camera, I already got it drawn, drawn by pencil, just just plain pencil. So I'm gonna start coloring it now. I think it came out really good, man. I'm happy with it. You gotta see that? So I'm gonna add some colors, color it, and it's gonna be beautiful. Anybody say something, please?
Looks awesome, Jose.
Hey, thank you.
Remember, you still owe me one.
I owe you. Yeah, I gotta do a fresh one, fresh take on the Brian Leake doing science. It's gonna be 80% like the other one, but the 20% is gonna be better details. And whenever I got it ready, I'll holler at you, man. I'll let you know.
Sounds good, my man.
Good. We also have Mr. 42 and Farmer's Boy in the house.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
I think the trickiest part for me was to draw the little SpaceX car. I think it came out really good. Look at that.
Oh, that's Starman, is it? Who
Yeah.
a couple of years back.
It's actually good, man.
Cool. Yeah.
And we got a big sunrise in there as it goes. Now, when it's fully color, it's gonna look nice. It's gonna look just like a cartoon or whatever.
Cool,
It's
I
good,
like
man.
Yeah, good one.
I got my real deal, my Arteza pencil, color pencils. Shit's getting real now. So I'm gonna just, I don't know, in the background as we get the open discussion today, I'll start coloring and showing the progress as we go along the day. If anybody got anything to screen share or something, please holler. We got the full show. I'm just gonna, for now, leave the camera on us. Whatever. When it's needed, just let me know. Oh, if you need me to share something, please do so. This isn't gonna take me too long.
I'm trying to think what's happened.
There was
another
wait.
SpaceX launch.
Terrestrial is here, representing Australia.
Ah, he's getting warmed up for the show that he's going to do later today, tomorrow.
Well, you got a special show going on.
No, he does a stream every Saturday, but it's his Saturday night and my Saturday morning.
Okay. Nice.
Just have to remember the difference in time zones. I think he's 11 hours ahead of me, and you're 5 hours behind.
Good times.
Takes some keeping up with.
Now you say that there was going to be a SpaceX launch again today.
No, there was another one.
There was
another one yesterday. So they've had 3 inside of a week.
Yeah, 3 in a week. Two from Canaveral, 1 from Vandenberg.
Yep.
Damn.
The Vandenberg one was pretty cool. It was clear, normally clear at Vandenberg.
Yes.
What was this one about?
The
Some
Vandenberg
testing? Yeah, like the tree. Anyone is describing like it was testing or it was dropping satellites or what was it about?
Satellites. The Vandenberg one was some classified satellite they couldn't tell you about. They could tell you the launch, but that's it.
There's a recon bird, wasn't
it? Yeah. The last one was like 30 or 40 Starlinks.
Yeah.
And I think the first one was Romanian or something, satellite, Hungarian, or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember what that one was. It was only a week
Italian.
Ago. Yeah, Hungarian, Romanian. That was close enough for Americans.
Europe. It's somewhere in Europe.
Close enough for Americans. Come on.
Yeah, I know. That's not bad going.
Do you think all cats are black, man? What the hell?
No, I know the difference. I just tease them European sometimes.
Oh, that was the Cosmo SkyMed was the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Then there was the classified spy satellite mission, and then yesterday was another load of Starlinks, and that one, of course, landed down on out in the Atlantic Ocean on the barge.
No swearing.
Yeah.
You say barge. Oh, that's not a swearing word, right?
No, that's not a swearing word. No.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
That's a big floating platform.
All right.
Whose name escapes me for the moment.
It's like Bob or something.
No.
What?
The ones that retrieve the payload shrouds. That one's called Bob, but the 2 barges are named after mines, as they're called, from the series of culture novels.
Wait. What do they name?
The 2 barges.
What are barges? What are barges? I'm sorry, that word.
Right.
You talking about the SpaceX barges?
Yep.
Yeah.
One is just read the instructions, and the other one is, of course, I still love you.
I still don't know what barges are.
Barge is a ship without a motor.
Okay. Got it.
I believe yesterday's was called a shortfall of gravitas.
Yeah. I'm sorry, those are the drone ships, not barges. Those are powered ships.
Uh-oh, you've been told wrong, man.
Oh well, but that's what it was called anyway. Because I remember saying them saying it on the live stream yesterday.
Yeah,
Shortfall of gravitas.
Shortfall of gravitas is a new one, Bob.
And that's a long running joke to anyone who's ever read the novels that it's based on.
No, I was referring to the drone ships. He's talking about the barges. I was wrong.
One is called Of Course I Still Love You. The other one is Just Read the Instructions. They have a third one now. They're calling a Shortfall of Gravitas.
Yeah.
Did we just hear Bob saying I was wrong? When do we hear any flat earther saying I was wrong?
Never.
Yeah, that's a tricky one, right? To hear them.
That's a problem when you actually admit you're wrong to a flurf, you're wrong forever because
right.
Just like
because
science
you've been wrong,
yeah, science has to be 100% absolutely correct or it's wrong. If you ever admit you're wrong, then you're immediately wrong forever.
Isn't that something strange? Go ahead, Bob. Sorry.
That's the fifth characteristic of science denial, an expectation that science be perfect.
Yeah, when people, very, very tricky one, because when they say like, we're not science deniers, we approve science, and we know that science is 100% must be 100% correct. Then that's the science denial, because science doesn't prove things 100%. We all know that, and we have learned that 2 days ago when we had the show, they expect to be 100%, but it never is. Shouldn't be. Things must have an open door for clarification and elaborate and advance and get better, right? Is that what science is? Leaving the doors open for people to get more data information and get more accurate and better? Please correct me.
Yeah.
Science is for us to ask questions that our children and grandchildren will answer.
What? What if I ask my children and grandchildren what was the name of my, I don't know, first crush on I don't know, middle school?
Well, that wouldn't be science now, would it? A science question would be, why is the sun yellow? Or is there life outside of our solar system? Or within our solar system other than us? Those are questions that are for them to answer.
Now we're getting clarification. I'm going to look at the chat box in 1 minute. I'm finishing this little blue in the sky right here in this drawing. You hear the sirens?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's the Florida tunes.
In fact, I think every time you do a live stream, there's a
every
siren
time
in the background at some point. I think if it's not every time, it's damn near every time.
Every time, man. Every time. Yeah. You go through any stream and you find around and whatever. Anybody can timestamp where did the sirens happen in this stream. You will find a timestamp. You will find it. This is a little bit of a silly drawing that I decided to do, but it's just to practice, to start practicing and getting loose again on drawing. It's like, I don't know, it's like any either sports or skills that you have, that you have to practice a little bit, or you get, a little bit of a ring rust.
It's not too far from what I suggested to you yesterday, except instead of Wile E. Coyote, it should be Brian Mabbitt.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no,
I thought that might be a bit tricky to draw.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I wanted to do something like a real, drawing first without trying to improvise too much, just to
that's cool.
Get the cowbells out, Big thank you to everybody for watching. A big shout out, man. Big shout out to everybody. We got the sky. We got a little bit of blue. I don't want to overwhelm it with color. Now the characters must be solid color, but I got a little bit of blue on the sky. The banner should be like bright. Should leave it. I don't know. What ideas on the banner? The boom boom. What the background color and the letters should be colored. Please give me ideas.
I think the background of the pennant needs to be a light color.
Light, yeah.
Yeah.
Light yellow.
And then, yellow's good. And then obviously a darker color for the letters.
Yellow
Red.
and red.
Red, yeah. That's what I was thinking. Then I just asked you for you.
That's good contrast, isn't it?
Yeah. I live in Grand Theft Auto 5, says Kuzo. No, I don't. I'm gonna do the light, yeah, between yellow and orange, the background of the banner.
Yeah, we don't get many sirens around here.
Isn't that something, man? Why is that? United States of USNA?
No, I think it just reflects on sort of where you live. If I was in the middle of Northampton City, I'd hear them all the time. I'm in a most of the time a quiet little village, except when the racing boys turn up, and you just don't hear it. You don't get that.
Mm.
I guess we just don't get a lot of trouble around here, which is nice.
Shame. Somebody mentioned earlier Rachi 5.0 in the chat box.
Yes, Simon Dan put out a video about her today.
She's famous, huh? They talk about her.
Yeah, she'd got a comment from God, I'm having a senior moment now. One of the top flat earthers had left a comment for her.
And she starstruck that he left a comment for her.
Well, I think Dan had noted it more than anything else. Simon Dan had a bet with Ranty that he couldn't get a flat earther to pass a very basic physics test.
Right.
Sort you sit when you're 11.
Mm.
And Rachel sat it, and she passed it apparently with a score of 80%.
Do we know what the questions are? Because I do know that Rachel has been asking around in Perspective chats for certain questions that might be related to this, but I'm not sure about that.
Could well be then. I don't know. I mean, I never sat that particular exam at my age, and if I had, we're talking 41 years ago, so they would have changed since then. But no, I don't know what the questions actually were. But Mark Sargent, thank you, Tusk. I can't remember who it was.
They rearranged the laws of motion. The first one's now third, and the third is the second, and the second's the first.
Is that for real?
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, that's right. That's flat earthers. Okay.
I'm sure the basics are still the same as they ever have been, just that the teaching methods might have changed a bit. I don't know. Yeah, that was right, Tusk. It was Mark Sargent had left a comment on one of Rachel's videos.
Yeah, really? She's big. She's big time now, superstar, bro.
Something along the lines of he said in a comment that she was attractive.
What?
Like that.
She's a hottie. I don't know. I mean, she's not a hottie like what? She's not a 10, but she's a very, very easy to look at girl. She's a pretty girl, yeah. But she is.
Well, yeah, but it does demonstrate that looks aren't everything.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm afraid.
True that.
Yeah, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what the questions are on a. What's it? I'm trying to think what the exam's called. Do they call it the 11 plus? I think that's what they used to call it.
Mark Sargent is a big superstar, man, among flat earthers. He must be a thrill and excited to have a comment.
Does he still do the rounds? Is he still a thing?
I have no idea.
No. I mean, we've all heard of him, but that's historical more than anything, I suspect.
Yeah, right. He must be.
I guess so.
How can Rachel pass a physics test and still be a flat earther?
So she passed the physics test.
Same way Brian Mullen can be an engineer and a flat earther. He does one thing at work and he does another thing online.
Yeah.
You know he's not pulling that crap at work, right?
We better not. It would be difficult to design stuff if you thought the Earth was flat, no gravity.
He's a bridge inspector.
Yeah, it's not the flatness. It's the pretending that gravity's not a thing, particularly when it comes to structures.
But what type of structures he built? Huge structures that you really need to account for gravity, or just small structures like a house? You don't have to account for gravity. You just got to build a strong
You do.
house and stuff.
Well, I was going to say,
why do you think you have lintels over doorways and window openings?
and bearing walls and that kind of stuff. And,
well, if I build a house, I don't need to account for gravity.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about the foundations, that kind of stuff,
Well, I do, yeah. I need to worry about a strong foundation, a structural, everything structurally strong.
And why do you need a strong foundation?
So the shit don't break apart.
Right, because of gravity.
No, but I don't think no construction. Yes, most of the construction workers around when they're building, they're not thinking about gravity.
No, they're not thinking about gravity.
That's what I mean.
They're just building the plan.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean.
They haven't designed
the guy
it.
Who made up
the guys who designed it have to worry about it.
The guy who designed it had to worry about that stuff, exactly.
Yep.
The guy.
No, I disagree. I disagree. I mean, the way you guys see it from your Globers, and you have to. Yeah, you must have to. You guys think that yes, but you ask anybody that say no, we don't think about gravity. Yeah, I mean, what you consider gravity, yeah, shit fall down. If you don't build a strong, frame, it's gonna fall down. There you go. Then they say, there you go, gravity. But that's not what they're thinking. They're not thinking the word gravity ever when they build. I mean, most of the people, they're regular people. Now, this is my point of view. Doesn't mean I'm right.
No, I agree with you. That your standard guy with a hammer and nails isn't worried about gravity. He's building according to a plan, according to a code. But those building codes, are all based on load structures, and if you like in Colorado, you better worry about snow on your roof, and in Florida, you better worry about wind.
Yeah.
Too much garlic.
What's that? What's happening? Who's there?
Wait. Oh, sorry, it's me. I said that's why you're going to worry about the wind in Florida. They eat too much garlic.
Okay.
No, you have to tie the roof to the frame, basically, because they're finding out that if you don't do that, so basically when structures fail during a hurricane, it's not that they blow down, it's that the roof acts like a big wing and basically lifts off the building.
Yep.
So it's not flatulence.
No. Generally, that's the least of your worries. Unless you've got a big enclosed space with lots of cows inside, then it might be a different matter.
Well, I think if you don't have a YouTube video that shows this is true, and obviously in a way that cannot be debunked in any way, shape, or form, then I think you can't rule out flatulence.
Okay. Good job we can't record flatulence in 4K, isn't it?
Is this the unicorn farts that they talk about?
No, that's completely different.
Okay.
Dross, what are you doing, man? What do you came to do to bring this fart topic over here, man? What the hell?
I'm doing an absurdium argument to just show the issues with people that don't actually follow reasonable chains of evidence and causality and want to invent their own shit in their head. And it was much more amusing to say it that way than the way I just did.
Is any flat earther reasonable?
I think reasonable, yes. Rational, that's the probably question mark. Or I think, there are some flat earthers that aren't unpleasant. That's probably a better way of putting it.
So there are pleasant flat earthers.
Yeah.
Name 3.
Bandsaw, Geo.
You really are mentioning them.
He's struggling.
Struggling for a third. Come on, guys. Someone give me a hand here. There's got to be another one that's not a cunt.
Say Lemon Bird.
He's not reasonable.
Sin cleanser. Though that's a lie.
What? That's a lie, bro.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
That is a fucking lie. Sin cleanser is not reasonable, bro.
How about Bev?
Uzina Jarrah used to be actually really pleasant, but he's turned into a bit of a crit clone.
Are you talking about pleasant people? I'm sorry. Who's that guy that Mr. Sensible interviewed? The guy from the Flat Earth School of Science and Technology or some such bullshit?
FIT.
Do you mean yesterday?
Yeah.
This was Kyle Adams.
Kyle Adams.
Kyle.
But
he
is not reasonable at all. I just had a chat with him this morning. Written
not
text only, but...
he's pleasant at least.
Yeah.
He's pleasant, but he's slimy.
He isn't a limey, he's a foreigner.
So limey. So limey, not limey. But...
I just love fucking with Americans. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Bob. You were gonna say, man.
Yeah, it's our language now.
I watched Sensible's interview with him last night just for fun, and he is just an absolute slime bag. He tries every little trick to try and confuse the issue and confound the issue. And quite frankly, Sensible wasn't standing for it. I'd love to come on his show and have a little debate with that guy.
He's pleasant until you realize that he's pitching that woo to his children.
Well, that's why you sit down and you humiliate him a little bit. You're nice about it, but you make sure that he walks away knowing he got schooled.
Interesting. Do you think that when certain content creators and people that do debate, they must behave differently? Well, you give advice sometimes to Mr. Sensible or MC Toon on what approach they should have taken if it was you doing something different in their debates.
Only if they ask me, because quite frankly, they're very good at it themselves. If they'd ask me, I'd be happy to talk with them about it and give them my thoughts, but I'm not going to give that unsolicited.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying, but yeah, you could have done something slightly different. It's just if they ask you, then you will give them some advice on it. All right, that's fair.
I think that every time you interview a flat earther, they should be wired up to an electricity source, along with the globe earther. And every time they tell a lie, they get a shock. And each time they tell a lie, the shock value goes up a little bit.
You're going to kill all the flat earthers that way.
No,
I would last more than 2 minutes.
I think you could actually define that as suicide.
Woo! I need a cigar. All right, we got the car. We got the Tesla car with the banner done, and it says, "Boom, boom." There you go. How about that?
I like it. You know, it ruined my childhood when I found out that coyotes can run faster than roadrunners.
We got in there little by little. It's gonna be very colorful down here. The whole thing is gonna be very bright and colorful. This was an extra. I didn't even have to do any of this, but I just wanted to feel something in the town.
There was a book out about cartoon rules of physics that was pretty funny. Like,
those are cool. I watch a lot of GIF and little memes and stuff about cartoon physics. Those are good.
Yeah. Like, you know, animals are very special things. They fall faster than you if they're above you, but they fall slower than you if they're below you. And
gravity doesn't work until you look down.
That's correct.
That's what the first law of cartoon physics. First law of cartoon physics. You don't fall until you look down. Yeah.
The other one was when the roadrunner standing in midair, the coyote holds up a sign that says you're breaking the laws of physics, and the roadrunner holds up and says roadrunners can't read. I think they're both in the air at this point, and the coyote falls and the roadrunner doesn't.
See? Yeah, that's kinds of good stuff on physics and rules.
I remember reading a really weird book on comic book physics, and one of them was the problem of Superman going through his adolescence.
It's a good point. Yeah. Ooh. Oh dear. Probably a good job that never really got covered.
I think it would have been exposed quite quickly.
Ah. Yeah, actually, if you watch Man of Steel, he's a young kid at school, and then the next thing you know, he's grown up and working. It's like let's avoid the teenage years because that's just messy and complicated. As the teenage years usually are.
Maybe he made one of those special American socks out of his cloak.
They don't need to bring that to the. To not bring to. I mean, it's like the Spider-Man movies. They didn't have to show the origin story again when he got beat by a spider and none of that. They're skipping some of those stuff lately in the movies.
Well, yeah, I mean, we all know how he becomes Spider-Man, don't we? You know.
Yeah.
Well, they just seem to have this habit of keep rebooting things. I mean, there's another bloody Batman film coming out.
But that's awesome. Yeah, Batman GR2 or something like that. I heard it's early stages of Batman, so he's got a, like shoulder boots, and his outfit is what it is, like more of a homemade. It's more of an early version of the Batman. It's more rough and abstract. He probably not take good. He doesn't save too many lives. Maybe he's just killing roughly. He's just a vigilante face. Big time, I think it's gonna be good.
That's can't think the guy's name is playing him now.
Robert Pattinson.
That's the chap.
Got there first. I want them to do a film of Batman who laughs. I think that would be a fantastic movie.
Is there a British equivalent of Superman or Batman or?
In Marvel, there is. You've got Captain Britain.
I'd say the only comic equivalent we'd have of anything like over here, and he's still not English, would be good old Judge Dredd.
No, I think you can look at Zenith if you want the equivalent. You can look at
Zenith.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I've forgotten about Zenith.
And Maximan.
It doesn't there's no Canadian Superman. There's no Canadian Batman for sure. They're too.
You got Wolverine.
Well, Wolverine. Well, he was. Yeah, I guess was he Canadian?
Well, they're too polite. They're saying sorry all the time.
Exactly.
You had the whole Alpha Flight sort of series that went on as well.
Yeah.
Wolverine retired.
Which everyone said, "What's that all about?"
All a boot, yeah. Oot and a boot and a boot. Oot and a boot and a boot.
Hey.
And you even had North Star and his sister, who were Quebecian Canadians whose first language was French, just to annoy everybody. I may have read a comic or two in my youth. /adulthood.
I never read comic books when I was a kid. That's why I like movies nowadays, because I never read comic books. Yeah.
Biggest Dockers, thank you very much. Super grand.
How about Super Fast? Super Fast. Don't I remember that movie? Superhero.
No.
Yeah. Superhero movie. Super Fast. F-U-Z-Z.
Is that one of those blaxploitation movies?
I don't know. I think his weakness was color red. I watched it when I was a kid. I don't remember well, but I know it was superhero.
That was the thing about the Green Lantern. He's, could fly in place and get his ass kicked by Big Bird.
Yeah, Sesame Street was his fear.
Well, yellow. Anything yellow. Big Bird is nice and yellow. So.
I got money. I got money in the bank because Jomongus sent me $10. Thank you, Jomongus. Good morning and God bless. Can't wait to hear all of Farmer's wonderful stories and Leel asking clear and concise questions one time only. P.S. Why is Rakia always so angry? Jomongus for $10. Thank you, sir.
Rakia is always angry.
Love you too, Jumungus.
I think that's his shtick.
I think it's one of those that he's only happy when he's miserable. I don't know.
Uh-oh. All right, I better hurry doing this drawing now. I'm just slacking now.
I just thought you were taking copious notes on everybody and what we said, so you could hold.
Right, like I'm just writing down an essay.
Well,
yeah, it was my job, but he's taken over doing it. Yeah.
Well, I am not, sir. Sorry to disappoint you.
I wish they'd do more of the British stuff because I think there'd be some bloody good films in there. And all they've done is 2 attempts at Dread, and that's it. There's so much other good stuff that they could do from over here, but.
Sorry, Captain Midlands.
Yes, I just found that as well. The chap who directed the film Moon is apparently still going to do Rogue Trooper.
Well, Moon was a great movie.
That would be a really.
I can't remember the bloody guy's name. I follow him on Twitter, but yeah, he is still sort of sorting out doing Rogue Trooper. So. But Moon was an excellent film. I think
it was actually.
I think that went under a lot of people's sort of radar.
Was that like there was some kind of rocks or something that moved?
Helium. They're mining helium.
Oh.
Helium-3. It was a great movie. Old school too. That was all done with models.
Yeah. It pretty much only had Sam Rockwell in it most of the time, and the voice of Kevin. Duncan Jones was the director. That's the chap. He's going to do Rogue Trooper.
That's good.
I don't know when, because I think he was looking at it just before the whole kicked off a couple of years back. So,
well, you know that they've invested a huge amount of money out in Oxford to build a film studio / CGI computer wing for what's it? Rebellion, which are the people that own the 2000 AD
correct
property rights now.
Yes. How very interesting, because just from 2000 AD, there are so many potential sort of characters and stories that they could turn into film that I think would probably do quite well. But of course, they're not Marvel. It's not DC Comics. It's not American.
V. I forgot about him. He was definitely British.
V for Vendetta. Yes.
Why so many directors, movie directors and stuff? They're so afraid of now of the Marvel and DC universe with these superhero movies. They say like they are hurting us and they are making the business go away. Why? They are helping Marvel and DC. They're actually helping with the movie business. People making them go back to the movie theaters and shit like that.
I think there is a question on some of the story quality content, and I think that's been something that's been going on ever since sort of like the rise of action movies. Is that you used to have kind of really good sort of action alongside really good dialogue. So you go back to a lot of the war films, for instance. That there was actually quite a lot of good dialogue going on, and I think that's one of the things you can say they've kind of dumbed a lot of stuff down. But then again, I still think Thor Ragnarok is one of the best movies made in the last sort of 15 years.
What, Thor?
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, Thor Ragnarok specifically, I think is the best film out of the Marvel Universe.
It's sort of like Star Wars kind of killed good science fiction for a generation, too.
But they did a version of another British comic series that I quite liked, which was called Accident Man, and that's actually pretty good. And it's called Accident Man, funny enough. It's not a superhero film; it's just kind of like quite a dark.
Accident Man.
Yeah, it's a film about a guy who's an assassin.
Yeah, it does ring a bell. Constantine. That's a British English thing. They just Americanized it.
Of course they did. That's why what's his face? Keanu Reeves played it.
Yeah.
That's probably actually, I think, again, that's a bit of DC content I really kind of like.
The Watchmen.
Classic.
Absolute classic.
Let's try to avoid talking about this because a lot of people have no idea what we're talking about.
Well, they should.
They were Americans mostly, weren't they? That was America. I mean, Captain Manhattan.
Yeah, but it was all written over here. It's Alan Moore, wasn't it?
I'll give you that.
Yeah. The most famous man who lives in Northampton.
What color is the sun? Yellow, right?
It depends where you are.
I'm gonna draw it yellow. Here.
Well, down here it looks yellow. Get up into space, it's bright white.
What? Why is that, man?
Because there's no atmosphere to turn it yellow.
So it's the atmosphere that makes the sun look yellow from Earth.
Yes.
All the parts.
It's refracting through the atmosphere. If you look at any of the shots taken from, say, the ISS, when you can see it sort of, and they obviously try not to take photos of the sun because it screws the photos up, but you can see it's just bright white. Sunlight is white.
So right now, if I ask what color is the sun, what color is the sun, there are two answers, but the stronger answer is yellow because we are looking at the sun.
Correct.
Through here.
That's what we see because we have an atmosphere here.
People agree with that in the chat box. You guys think the sun is yellow?
Yes, it's turned yellow by the aether band.
Everybody drink.
Well, I haven't talked to Travis in over a couple of weeks, and I don't miss him.
Yeah, that's Travis.
What you mean?
Months for me. I don't even know if he's still a thing, if he still exists around.
No, he sits in Geo's server and just hides there.
Really? How do you know this? You hang out there?
I got kicked out. I left a while ago because they would constantly mute me because basically you can't stand their woo.
Yes.
Near as I can figure out, there is no. Well, hold on a second. Geo actually admitted that the reptilians were a little bit too far for him, but every other conspiracy theory out there, he believes.
Yeah. Just follows them all, doesn't he?
Well, except for the reptilians. He admitted that the reptilians overlords was probably not true.
To be fair, he does claim he has done a huge amount of psychedelics.
Yeah.
Travis has.
No, Geo.
Okay.
And having done a fair amount myself, I do kind of believe that he has.
Oh, now I see what voices are talking to him and telling him the truth.
Easy. It's true.
But he doesn't like the saying, if ifs and buts were pots and pans, then you and I'd be tinkers.
That's strange, man. Now, I feel bad for Travis because back in the day, I used to worry about him a lot. But then what he became months after that, after I told him, like, I worry about you, bro. It's just not worth it. He became such a nasty human being racist. Every time I show up, he's like Esi Montreal, just starting calling one racist names and stuff like that. Some of these people is not worth to be thought about as for trying to help. I couldn't care.
Esi Montreal says he's Canadian. I don't think he is. He's more like an American because he's just too nasty to be a Canadian.
No, he's Greek and he moved to Canada.
And is that because you are Canadian, NASA?
No, I'm not a Canadian at all. I live like Bob. When you live in Michigan and then and live when you start living near the Canadian border for a while, you run into a lot of Canadians.
Yeah, they're pretty decent folks.
Apart from all the murderers, rapists, violent people.
Easy now.
Every group has its shitheads, even in Canada.
Try not to mention none of that. That's for, I don't know, Jim Panda server. He allows people to talk all kinds of nasty stuff, not here.
Mm-hmm.
I go and listen to Geo's server once in a while. I don't speak over there. It's kind of interesting listening to him. Travis definitely found his little element.
They probably look up to him like, whoa, hail Travis, right? Like he's the big shot over there, but.
Well, I think he's a mod,
Yeah, he is a mod, which means he silenced me every second I got over there. So. Yeah, and basically that's his. To go debate a flat earther without them having mod abilities basically devastates them, because the only way they can I mean,
Yep.
you did that with do you guys see the thing that Jose put out like yesterday with
with Oakley?
Yes.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
That's
So
funny.
was that your Oakley conversation where you were incredibly polite but just keeping to the point and not reacting to anything? That was actually, I still vote that as one of the best Oakley engagements ever, by the way.
Yep.
That was it.
Yep.
And I don't give out compliments lightly because I'm normally sarcastic.
Thank you.
Bastard.
And I give people the advice: if you want to, get into their skin, just be nice, be polite, and just let them lose their shit. They are the ones losing their shit, not me.
Was he able to talk the day after?
Of course, and claim all kinds of victory after that. He did.
Yeah, because he kind of lost his voice in the middle.
I know, man, dude. He actually was losing his shit. He was really triggered that day. And I had to reverse the audio on many things because he called me fucking retard too many times, and I just didn't need that on my channel. So I just reversed those. Every time that is reversed, that's what he's saying. And it's in real time. I didn't add any extra ones. It's just in real time.
But to be fair, Nas, I've never been muted in Jay's channel.
Oakley's a nasty man.
Oakley is a nasty man.
Yep. Makes you wonder just how nasty he is in real life, because of course in his show an awful lot of that is just performance, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I think he'd be much politer if he was actually standing in front of you. Much fucking politer.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's pretty much a given. But I mean, because he is just playing a character, isn't he? Because
Yeah.
Well, he switched at the end of the show. He switches suddenly from all this shouting and stuff. He starts talking like normal people.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It doesn't take too much skills. You just need a little concentration.
He's not the only one to do that either.
Yeah, it takes a little concentration only. It's not too bad.
What really gives it away is when somebody's ranting and raving, and before they mute themselves, you hear them start to laugh. That
gives it away. Yeah, that gives it away.
That gives it away a bit. No names, no Patreon.
Messed up when they do that.
Yep.
You know who does that? Who does that a lot? Brian Mavitt.
Well,
Brian Mavitt giggles a lot.
That's exactly who I was. Who I was thinking of.
Brian Mavitt giggles a lot when he asks questions and tag, because if he thinks it's ridiculous, the globe, but he knows what he's asking is more ridiculous than that. The way he's asking things is more ridiculous than that.
Yeah.
He's a character, Brian Mavitt is, man. Is
he
a paid character? I doubt it. I doubt he's a paid character, but he just get a rise out of doing whatever he does, how he do it.
Dallas Davis, another one, definitely a performer.
Yes.
David is a character too. Yeah.
Yep.
And he loves it because when he left the Oakley show, Dallas Davis, Jen Panda is the one that opened the doors for him. He was the original, the first flat earther in Jen Panda's server. When Jen Panda opened the server in 2017, somewhere around the neighborhood, Dallas Davis was the first one there. Why? Because Oakley started to change and shut up, David. Let me talk. Like, no, shut up. When he started doing what he does today at the extreme, a lot of people start leaving, and Dallas Davis was one of the first ones that abandoned him. Have you ever seen? Do you ever know that Dallas Davis was a part of the Oakley crew back in the day? Yeah.
No, it doesn't surprise me though. He's just as ridiculous as anybody else.
Yeah, he was one of the Oakley guys back in the day. Yeah, very strange. And I wanted like when I created this new channel a few months ago, I went to Oakley 1 or 2 times, and I wanted to every once in a while keep going to have a little fun and just to I don't know to troll responsibly. But I got blocked in the chat box by Paula or whoever. I think she's in charge of the Discord server or one of the mods. She actually blocked me. I said like, what the fuck? I'll time out. I'll take it, but a block for no reason whatsoever. Fucked up, man. Fucked up. And Oakley does nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. Just was sad about that. So I left. I just unsubscribed again. Whenever he allows me to go in the chat box, then I'll might start, entertaining, rejoining again sometimes. It's not worth it whatsoever. I'm not even, dude. I got all the chat box and everything abandoned. I'm just giving the floor. The floor is open. The Discord is open for anybody that would like to join. It's up to you guys to join. I'm barely looking at anything over here.
Well, you got to let people speak even if you don't agree with them. Who knows? They might say something you like, they might not, but you should at least hear what people have to say rather than shout them down. That's how I became a flat earther. I actually listened to, people like Dave Murphy that were, just having a conversation and a chit chat about some of the logic. And I'm like, oh, this makes a lot of sense.
Hey, I got. Hold on 1 second. Let me read this, and I give you guys the floor. I'll step out. Big thank you to Anamorphic Mind. Anamorphic Mind sent me $20 in behalf of Rakia Life. So I got thank you for the $20, Anamorphic Mind, in behalf of Rakia. Rakia, you see how much love there's in this neighborhood. Thank you, Anamorphic Mind. Appreciate it. Sorry, go ahead, guys. You were going to answer. Lemon made a point and somebody was going to answer. I just had to cut and do the shout out, and now I'll just shut up.
Dave Murphy, is that the guy that drinks his own piss?
Yes.
I think he is of urine therapy. Like Ayurvedic medicine does the golden elixir.
We're not gonna talk about health. We're gonna say that urine therapy, but we're not gonna go further. Any benefits or any good or bad. We're not gonna mention any about health topics in the channel. So go ahead, guys.
But yes, Bob, that's him.
Yeah, I thought so, and that's not.
So I'm not sure why anybody would listen to what he says.
You listen to people when they say something consistent.
Consistent doesn't mean right, Lemon. Just because people keep on saying the Earth is flat doesn't mean the Earth is flat.
That is true, but if they give you a consistent narrative, that gives you at least something to go off of.
Well,
Lemon, did you see my video today?
I haven't. What did you put out there, Dr. Bob?
It's the shadow of the Earth demonstrating a rotating spherical Earth. That's a challenge from Taboo Conspiracy. And it was one of those, here, hold my beer moments. But yeah, I took his challenge, and I answered it. Conclusively demonstrated it.
I gotta check out this video. I saw the demonstration of shining the light through the hemispherical glass prism, and you get a spotlight which appears to rotate around the surface, like a snow globe, if you will. So based off a demonstration, I think we can have light rotating over a flat surface if there's a hemispheric dome overhead.
Yeah, if there's a big ass lens up front, which you guys can never demonstrate the fact that there is this said lens.
We infer it heavily by the sundogs, parhelions, and other things that look very much like the sun shining off of a surface.
Yeah, but you still haven't given a sample or, a picture.
Lemon, unless you can demonstrate physical evidence of that, not something that's an antecedent based on your understanding, show us physical evidence. All we need.
I think the closest that they've done for that is Libyan desert glass and stuff like that they infer chipped off of the dome or meteorites or something like that. But I'd have to go up there and scratch off a sample.
How would you test it for the dome? How would you know a piece of the dome?
I'd have to send something up there until it hits or scrapes something up there. That's the best I could do.
Like a rocket?
And then I'd have to scrape off some glass. What's up?
You mean like all the rockets we send up there?
We send up rockets all the time.
Yeah, but they go up curve asymptotically as if they're going towards some sort of barrier past which they can't go and come back down. They go up curve and come back down in an asymptotic way as if there's a barrier up there around 100 miles up.
Yeah, because the way spacecraft go
What
up.
rocket have you ever seen come back down?
What rocket have I seen come back down? What about the one with Jason Statham? Recently, they went about 70 miles up in that pod and came back down. How about them?
ICBM.
ISS is 200 miles up, and who was it? Was it SpaceX put those tourists up to over 500 miles? So where is the dome exactly?
I'd say that it's about 100, 200 miles up, and they're lying about how far they went, but I need to look at that data and see if they're actually going that far.
No.
All right, and if they were actually tracked that high, would you say that there's no dome?
I might just say that the dome's a little higher. I wouldn't give up the proposition just yet.
So you'd change the goalpost. Okay, got you. So it won't be at 200 miles if we can show somebody at 500 miles.
If
How
the
far
globe
out
can,
do we have to go?
we would need to go until I guess we see the Earth in the background, the whole big blue marble. I guess.
You mean like Himawari?
Himawari doesn't appear to see the whole ball. They see the horizon, which appears to be curved, distorted.
They see half of it.
The whole ball.
They see half of it. Would you expect to see the whole ball, Lemon?
I need to see if it is a flat horizon that's curved, distorted.
Can you see an entire sphere from one standpoint, or can you only see half of it?
You can only see half. But as far as I can see, Himawari is not seeing half. It's seeing a horizon, a portion of the horizon that's curved distorted.
No.
Well, see the whole thing, yeah.
Really interesting. So you deny that you see half the Earth from Himawari.
Himawari see the whole circle of the Earth.
The case.
The whole circle of the Earth. I mean, the whole thing.
The point is, you can't see a complete sphere in one go.
You would see half, but as far as I can tell, they're not even seeing half.
How far is Himawari from the surface, Lemon?
I think they say something like 200 miles or something.
No, 23,000 or so.
Himawari?
Yeah,
I doubt that.
Geostationary. Where does the
geostationary satellite
have to be?
How high does a satellite have to be?
How high does a geostationary satellite have to be? Can you have a geostationary satellite in low Earth orbit?
I don't know.
No, you cannot. The orbital period is related to the distance from the center of the Earth.
What do you think?
I don't trust the narrative. I'd have to look into it. I was a Glober, but I can look at this stuff with a grain of salt now.
Are you actually going to look into it? Why don't you go ahead and Google it real quick and tell us how far up a geostationary satellite has to be? Go look into it.
Didn't you just say like 2,300 miles or some stuff? I mean, what's that going to prove exactly? I mean, But Dr. Bob, if I look that up right now, I can look it up later, or whatever, I'm going to get a number. How's that going to help me with the shape of the Earth debate? All that will reduce to is a claim that something is this distance up, but I can't verify that distance by going there myself. It's not really going to help the debate.
talking about the dome, which you went from 200 miles to 500 miles. Are you going to increase it to 24,000 miles now?
And I back that up by the asymptotic activity of these rockets, which do appear to go up, curve, and come back down around 100 miles. You appear to have given a number that you're asking me to simply take on faith, despite the fact that NASA is full of shit. That's where the discussion
I personally saw Apollo 17 go into space, and I recognized it at 10 years old. So don't think they go to 100.
So, Bob, you saw something go up. That doesn't really help us in the discussion. I saw something go up too, curve, and come back down.
I saw it go up into space. How did I tell that it went into space?
You looked at something that went up.
How did I tell?
You saw something go up?
No. What did I see about it that told me it went into space?
You would have to tell me.
You look at the flame behind the rocket. The higher it goes, the wider it gets. And eventually it gets to a point that it widens out to almost 180 degrees and you can't see it anymore. Just a little glowing dot, but the flame itself vanishes because it widens all the way out. That happens when you lose air pressure.
Is that enough evidence for you, Lemon?
No, because that same evidence can be reinterpreted another way. That rocket could go up, skirt the underside of the dome or some layer that it can't go past, and the plume of gas could be spreading out in the relative zone of evacuation that's underneath the dome. So since Dr. Bob's narrative and his interpretation of it is not necessary for a ball, I can simply reinterpret it towards something flat because of the lack of necessity of his narrative.
That makes absolutely no sense. You know that?
What doesn't make sense about it? I've been in this discussion for 6 years with incurious globers like yourself that would rather call word salad than actually ask the people what they don't understand about what the person said. So yet again, sir, I'm going to have to ask you what you didn't understand about what I said. Why don't you show some intellectual curiosity and ask me what you don't understand?
Now I'm gonna say something. I think my microphone is unmuted, so I think I am being heard. When Lemonberry is making a point and you guys want to cut him halfway, it gets worse. It's like you're just cranking Lemon so he can keep going and going and going. If everybody shut the fuck up while Lemon is saying something, Lemon don't go and go like Pische does. When Lemon has a point to do, he makes the point and he shut up when he's done. Why you guys insist on interrupting when he's not done talking? For fuck's sake. Now you guys can answer what he say, and hopefully anybody interrupts him again whenever he decides to answer any of these questions or make a point. That's it. Period.
Lemon, what have you learned in the last 6 years about the book?
His reason.
What have I learned about the supposed globe?
Have you learned anything in the last 6 years about the globe?
I learned that they use flight models that assume a flat, non-rotating Earth, even at NASA. So it looks like I'm learning that the practical theory that they're using to make their models is flat, not round.
Lemon, airplanes, when you have a computer, especially 20 years ago when they made these things, the memory was limited. Airplanes fly perfectly well through the air. You don't need to have the rotating model underneath it. That doesn't mean that the Earth is rotating just because NASA used a simulation that had a non-flat, non-stationary, non-rotating Earth. Fuck off, Lemon.
If the roundness of the Earth doesn't need to be taken into account even by the pilot who's piloting the thing, then either the roundness of the Earth is meaningless, or the Earth is most likely flat, and these airplane pilots would have to curve correct at all because over a flat, non-rotating
they weren't navigating. They weren't navigating. They were just flying. There was a flight simulator. If you're going to fly through the air, it's easier to model flat, non-stationary, non-rotating because it's a whole lot less memory, especially 20, 30 years ago when memory was at a premium.
It sounds like we're making excuses for a model that has no practical implications and is not seen in practical demonstration. So I'm going to have to drop the model. I'm sorry.
It sounds like you want to pick a small, non-important part of this discussion and make it something important because you think you can make hay out of it. When people understand what's going on, they just laugh at you and think that you're an idiot.
I'm not everybody. You do, not me.
Lemon, you have to have a sphere to navigate. You cannot navigate without a sphere. Period.
Lemon, on those simulations, the
thing that you're gonna share,
even if you have them, doesn't matter if you have them today. You still don't have point-based gravity because that would be too many coordinate transforms for the physics engine, especially if it doesn't make a difference in the context of where you're using it. So if you're testing an airframe, if you're driving a vehicle, you do not need computerized physics that go to the center of a globe. You just do not. You need them in a single direction, height, that whatever elevation direction you're using. So let's say Z, that's it. It simplifies things for compute purposes because it's irrelevant.
It sounds like we're paying homage to a useless idea that just really has no practical demonstration, pragmatic use, or any truth to it. I think it's time that we drop gravity for the ball Earth and the gravity that we use as the excuse to make the ball Earth as the dead weight that it is, and go with something more practically demonstrable, like something flat.
Funny you should use the word dead weight. Funny you should use the words dead and weight. Because weight is the practical demonstration of gravity.
Weight is probably a combination of different fields that manifest as an object that either sinks, rises, or floats electromagnetically.
Gravity,
it's probably not pulling to something pulling to the center of a ball and making sure that you stick to the center of a ball instead of flying off into space.
Now, gravity is an acceleration. Weight is the force that the mass times acceleration generates.
Navigation requires a spherical Earth, Lemon. You can't navigate if you don't have a sphere. Simple as that, not long distance.
Well, the problem that I have with that is two counts. When the spheres, for entertainment purposes, spheres that they show us in the classrooms are given to us, the continent sizes are warped, distorted, and not in proportion. You know what you have to do to put that thing in proportion? You have to flatten it out.
No.
And so the actual continents in actual proportion. So as far as I can see, we don't even have an accurate globe map based off of it being a globe shape and having continents that are actually in proportion without flattening it out. That's a huge problem.
You're 100% wrong on this one, Lemon. The problem is that the globe is perfectly in proportion, but when you flatten them out, you have to take projections of the globe, and when you do that to a flat surface, you generally have to distort it somewhere.
But at that point, you're just paying homage to the globe idea and keeping it in the back of your mind for interpretation. You're not showing practically a globe in proportion that you're showing on your desk. And then on top of that, we have things like plain sailing, which are a thing.
Not done yet.
You sail with a straight direction and dead reckoning to your destination. How can that be a thing on a ball? This is not consistent. And because of the inconsistency of the narrative, yet again, I'm going to have to reject it. I'm sorry.
Well, you can reject it all wrong,
Lemon. Can you navigate, Lemon?
I could try with a compass or something, but I've never done it before.
Can you read a sextant and use 2 star sightings to find your location? Yes or no?
I try to find Polaris. I think they say it's pointed to by, what is it, the Big Dipper or something?
2 star sightings. Can you tell me what your location is based on those star sightings?
Roughly.
All right. Well, if you can't, do you agree that you can't navigate? How close do you think you'll have to be?
Northern hemisphere versus southern hemisphere, I guess. I could tell by the weather and stuff like that, the weather patterns, the position of the sun. That's about it.
You have to use the sightings that I gave you to put a position, a dot on the map within 10 miles of the actual dot. Do you agree?
Bob, I cannot do that. If you give me the tools
I don't think I could do that.
Hold on, Lemon. Let me answer this to Bob. Bob, you give me the tools so I can navigate. I will not be able to navigate. Does that mean that wrong or something? What does that mean? I cannot navigate. I don't know how to use the tools.
You're not claiming that we don't use a sphere to navigate. Lemon is. He is professing to have some expertise in navigation.
Okay, but
on it.
So a follow-up, if I was claiming that we don't use a sphere to navigate, and you give me those tools, I will not be able to navigate it. Still, not because Earth, nothing to do with the sphere, just because I don't know how to use the tools. You see?
Yeah, but you could learn how to use them.
No.
And also,
we never asked Lemon if he knows how to use the tools.
Is if you
but the point is, we never asked Lemon if he knows how to use the tools.
I asked him.
Oh.
The thing is, the globe isn't necessary, Dr. Bob. It's very easy to reinterpret that stuff over a flat surface with the stars circling overhead. The only purpose we have the globe, Dr. Bob, is to have some element of circularity over the surface, but you can have them circling over a flat surface. That's it.
You own there.
The distance
I mean, it's fine, but the thing is, this stuff can be reinterpreted. The globe isn't necessary. You have to show necessity for the globe to have the case, and you're not doing that. You're just saying, we're going to pay homage to this globe only and only interpret this in reference to the globe and exclude other models. At that point, you're just paying homage to the globe when you may not need to.
The distances on a flat Earth would be different. The distances in the southern hemisphere would be different on a flat Earth.
Yeah, that's why Robotham sailors were saying we're clocking too much distance down here. We're down below the equator. We're talking about the miles per degree latitude, and we're getting too much distance down here. It's not matching up with what appears to be a global assumption. We're out of reckoning. Something is off. And so it looks like the globe is found wanting.
You never tested any of that, Lemon. You're just taking their word for it.
Everybody takes somebody's word for it, but based off of these reports, I can't reconcile this with a globe. There are some reports that you accept. There are some reports that I accept. You're forming a narrative. I'm forming a narrative. And based off of that, the narrative's inconsistent.
Jose, I put the star sites in the chat. Let me know if Lemon gets it.
Lemon, why are you still using Robotham and all this stuff? We have more current things that we can use that verify these distances, such as flights between cities in the southern hemisphere.
Because the truth doesn't change, B-Ball. The liar may try to deceive based off of the data that they currently have, but they can't reach back a century into time and go with those reports that appear to be going against their lies. So since the truth doesn't change, B-Ball, it does help sometimes to go back into the past and verify things.
I don't think Robotham measured it himself, did he? One guy?
No, I totally agree with Lemon.
He talked to other sailors.
What Robotham did is make a story about some place most people don't go and therefore cannot verify, but today we can.
There's all sorts of stuff that we can't verify that we take on faith. We can't verify half of the stuff that's put out by these institutions. We take it on faith or reject it. And so Robotham interviewed these sailors, talked about accounts or whatever when he put that in his book about what sailors were experiencing when they were down below the equator and getting too much land per unit latitude based off of their travel times down there. And so all we can do is just go off of those reports and just make a conclusion.
I need to make a point, Bibble. This is very important because Lemon Bird put two possibilities only. You either take it of faith or reject it. I don't do either or. Right now, me personally, I take it on faith because I haven't done any of this. But people like Bob, Earth is Light, that have done measurements on their own, they're not just taking this on faith. They are reviewing the data given to them and the results, and they come into their own conclusion. So there's not only black and white, Lemon. It's not take it on faith or reject it. You choose to reject it. Some people choose, like me, to take it on faith. But most of the people that talk about the topic, they actually know the stuff they're talking about. What do you think about that? Why do you only have two options?
But Jose, the faith is necessary because you can't test everything. Did these people do a round the earth sort of circumnavigation below the equator and clock time at a unit of latitude? I doubt that they've had the time, the resources, or the wherewithal to do all that, Jose. So they're going to have to trust and assume some things on faith that they can't test, Jose, even the experts.
The Vendée Globe line
have happened between cities in the southern hemisphere. These are documented flights that that happen probably right now that are happening between cities in the southern hemisphere. We know the distance between those cities.
We also know that they have decidedly northern deviations that are kind of inexplicable on a ball where they would go up and down in a V, but over something flatter like an A.E. Gleason map appear to have straight lines through the center, which appear to make a bit more sense.
Again, Lemon, not true.
Hey, Jose, may I share my screen here?
You sharing the screen?
If I may.
Yeah, I can share you for YouTube. All right. Just let me know. It's up.
Yeah. I'm going a step back here because I just got in here listening. And Lemon Bird, you said something about rockets going up and then coming down again.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see my screen here? That guy with the black line behind it.
You're up, brother.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Do you see my screen? Yeah. So that black line is going upwards there. And then it curves. And then it goes down again. Right? Just like a rocket going down again.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So let's have a step back here. That is going 45 degrees up all the way. That's called perspective. From this guy's perspective down here, that line is going up and down again. Take a step back, go from distance. That is 45 degrees up all the way.
That's not quite an accurate way to represent perspective, though. Perspective would approach the eye level of the observer, and you don't have that approaching the eye level of the observer here. You have it going up and up and up. That's a contradiction. Based off of perspective, just like in the hallway, you see the ceiling appear to ramp down if it's simply a perspective effect.
So this is the eye level of the observer, right here.
But you have it going up and up and up without coming back down and ramping back down toward the level of the eye of the observer. So you're saying it's perspective, but that's not quite perspective. It's not the way that it works in the hallway anyway.
Hallway? Why do you keep on the hallway?
Because the hallway ramps down and yours doesn't ramp down. Yours just keeps going up and up and up. Then you reorient the camera to make it look like it's going down when, if you look at it from another perspective, pun intended, it just looks like it's going up and at an angle. It's not coming back down.
It's a rocket. It doesn't come back down. It's a rocket. It goes up. That is a 45-degree angle upwards.
So there's contradiction and a little bit of deception when you have it going up and up and up at a 45-degree angle, but you don't have it actually coming back down until you reorient your modeling tool. That's a little deceptive. And another thing that looks like it's coming back down is an object that's actually physically descending. So we need to see if it's actually perspective or if it's just, actually physically descending into the rocket graveyards that they have in places like the Atlantic and stuff like that.
This is just you totally mistaking perspective. This is a rocket going at 45 degrees up. It doesn't go down. It's perspective that makes it looks coming down back down again from where he stands right there. From where this guy is standing.
Model perspective. You have it going up and at an angle, and it doesn't actually come back down until
it doesn't come back down.
It gets far enough away, like looking down a hallway, but you have it going up and at an angle as opposed to coming back down. The way that you make it look like it's coming back down is by reorienting the tool or the camera. But as far as I can tell, when you zoom out, it's just going up and at an angle. That's a little contradictory.
Rockets don't come back down.
Well, we can agree to disagree, but the rocket graveyard that they have in places like the Atlantic and other things like that appear to...
That's the first stage. That's the first stage. This is the rocket, not the first stage. This is the entire thing going up. That is a 45-degree angle upwards.
Go up
into
some
space.
sort of barrier or get towards some sort of barrier past which they can't go, asymptotically curve, come back down eventually. That appears to be what these rockets are doing.
Where's the firmament? So, any pictures of the firmament?
I think there was some dude who supposedly took a picture of it down by Antarctica where it appears to come back down and touch the land. What was his name? Something Ross, James Ross or something, I forgot. But anyway, he took a textured picture of the sky that makes it look like it's some sort of modeled textured solid surface. That appears to possibly be a picture of the dome. I think the globers counter that it's like some sort of cloud formation, but it might just be the glassy, starry dome over by Antarctica.
Thing is about the hallway here, Lemonbird, scale, if we're getting about scale. The hallways you need to talk about are 3,000 miles high, not just 3 by 3 meters. That thing over there is Mount Everest to scale from this so-called hallway. So we're not standing in a 3 by 3 meter hallway. It's a 3 by 3,000 miles hallway. You need to think about scale before you say that.
Well, the sun does triangulate to around 3,000 miles high, assuming that there isn't some weird refractive effect, yes. But I guess we'd have to search into this further. But as we know by looking down the hallway, things appear to ramp down toward the level of the eyes of the observer, even when they're parallel. So those rockets can go up, like you say, and appear to dip due to perspective. But if it was a perspective thing and they were still visible, they would appear to dip down toward the eyes of the observer, one would assume, as opposed to just going up. You know, you're not representing perspective properly. You have perspective making it go up, then disappear into a twinkle when these rockets appear to go up and come back down. So that's a little contradictory.
No, you're not thinking about scale. This is a hallway, 3 by 3 meters. That's a hallway. We're not talking about the hallway here. We're talking about 3,000 miles high hallway.
Okay, so you need to center that at the eyes of the observer, and anything that's bigger than that 3 by 3 by 3 hallway that you showed will appear to dip behind a horizon that forms for a person who's 3 by 3 by 3 off the ground and away from the walls, and the symmetrical part of the ceiling that mirrors the distance from the level of the eyes down to the ground, from the level of the eyes up to that box. What you have here is doesn't appear to match an observer's perspective. It doesn't have stuff dipping down quite to the level of the eyes of the observer. You got to center it at the eyes of the observer. I mean, we wouldn't see Mount Everest over there if we were 6 feet off the ground. It would already have converged into the surface. It would have just,
I have this height offset 1 here. So there.
So how high are you off the ground in your model, sir?
Here I can sink it down to ground level. There, I had a height file, and there is ground level. So now you're looking up at Mount Everest over there, and
how far away is Mount Everest, sir, from that observer in there?
The distance to Mount Everest, I'm not sure, but I had the distance to where the sun is supposed to be from where I live in Norway, and that angle is 23 degrees at sunrise and 27 degrees at sunset.
I do notice Mount Everest starting to dip into the level of the eyes of the observer when you get closer to the ground.
I sure did. Yeah, it's here. That's because a scale like this, there is
could you get down to a foot level off of the ground? You're in metric. Could you get down to, I don't know, a meter off of the ground? That'd be like 3 feet. Could you get down to 1 meter?
There's a cutoff level here in the graphics. I can't do anything about it. There's a cutoff level.
What's the cutoff level? Could you get down to the cutoff level as much as possible?
I can remove, that part.
Shout out to Tommy Gronvold, everyone. Shout out to Tommy Gronvold, everyone. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, go check out Tommy Gronvold's channel. He's doing some good stuff over there.
It looks like that, Everest is starting to dip below that surface over there to the bottom right. I think if that surface was extended over that Mount Everest, it would effectively disappear bottom up. So at least it's demonstrating it with Mount Everest, at the very least, with, you getting closer to the surface and the stuff in the distance disappearing bottom up. I think the sun overhead would be no different. I think eventually it would disappear bottom up, just like Mount Everest would.
This is a 3D construct with pixels, right? That doesn't happen here. What you are saying there is just wishful thinking. That it's not reality. This is a model.
Only one thing mimics what we see in reality, Mr. Gronvold, where the ground appears to ramp up, the ceiling appears to ramp down, and these two zones appear to converge together.
You don't get that on a model. That just doesn't happen.
It depends on how you model it.
Flat.
Yeah, it depends on what you do with the modeling. This is a very nice model that you've done here. I think the only thing missing is the sun disappearing bottom up into the surface.
How would that happen when the sun is up here at sunrise?
As stuff gets further and further away from the level of the eye, / gets taller and higher up from the observer, it appears to ramp even more precipitously toward the level of the eyes. So it's changing the angle at which that object appears to converge with the surface and the rate at which it appears to descend. Basically, a really tall object that's really tall off the level of the eyes appears to ramp down and descend much more dramatically than something closer to the level of the eyes. So I suspect what you have is you don't have as dramatic of a dip rate as you need for it to really, vanish into the level of the eyes. I think your rate's a little too low. But figuring out what rate something descends appears to descend as it goes parallel to the level of the eyes, but is way higher than the level of the eyes, like the hallway, that's a tall order. I guess you'd have to have a much more precipitous drop rate depending on how tall up the object is, and it would eventually appear to set bottom first, like looking at a really tall, really far away from the level of the eyes hallway.
Could anyone translate that, please?
I'm right here, Mr. Gronvold. This is the part where you're supposed to ask me questions as opposed to giving it to the room. This is what makes you Globers so frustrating when you're not curious. And number two, you have the person right there, yet you refuse to interact with them. Do you have a question for me, Mr. Gronvold? For me?
Translate into reality, because that was bullshit.
Okay, Mr. Gronvold, since you're not listening to what I said, I'll put it in a blunt sentence for you to easily understand. Really tall object, really tall hallway, really steep rate of descent toward the level of the eyes as it sets bottom first. Your rate of descent for these objects is not high enough, Mr. Gronvold. Your model is not good enough. Sorry.
And I need a new one. See that blue curved line here? That's the path of the sun. This is the path of the sun during the day.
That's exactly how perspective works. As the object is higher and higher above the level of the eye.
You see what happened, guys? Somebody made a comment and hijacked the whole thing. Let's give Tommy Gronvold and Lemon a few more minutes. I mean, they're doing good on their own. If anybody makes an extra comment, it's going to derail the whole conversation. Let's not do that.
Is it a blue line here?
With all due respect, Jose, I've dealt with people like Mr. Gronvold for 6 years. They'll pretend to listen to you for 2 sentences and then zone out. So if that's what's going to happen here and we're not going to have a meeting of the minds, I'm not interested in talking to him. So going back to the other person, in perspective, if you have an object that's really high above the level of the eyes, it appears to dip toward the level of the eyes at a much more precipitous rate. This is known in perspective in optics. Mr. Gronvold's rate of descent here is not good enough for the objects, and it's not steep enough to represent the sun as it appears to set into the observer's eye level. So his model's a little off. Sorry.
So the distance from me, where I live, just north of Oslo, Norway here, the distance to the sunrise, the midday, and the sunset is 7,000 miles, 6,003, 5,008, 5,007. Yeah, doesn't change that much. Even though it goes from sunrise and follow the blue curve here up to midday and back down here again. Actually, the distance to, let me see here. Yeah, the distance to the sunrise is further away than midday. Sorry, closer than midday. And still it makes that curve. That doesn't make any sense. According to distance and perspective, the sun should be at its lowest when it's afternoon.
The really tall object like the sun, you don't have it dipping at a precipitous, fast enough rate to show how it disappears bottom first. As you raise an object way above the observer, Mr. Gronvold, it appears to go toward the level of the eyes at a much more precipitous incline than it would if it was closer to the level of the eyes. Since your model doesn't quite reflect that, your model is slightly off. I apologize.
Slightly.
But it looks like you're representing it pretty well with Mount Everest, appearing to disappear into the level of the eyes if you're really close to the surface, like you showed when you were 1 meter off of the surface in your model.
Slightly off. If you have a better model, please help me build one. I need it. I seriously need it.
The only problem that I could see here, if I was going to try to model this stuff, I'm just a humble conspirator flatty. But as you get higher and higher off of the level of the eyes, those triangles would need to represent some sort of steeper incline. It looks like those yellow triangles are just at a linear rate that keeps going as you go out and out and out, but it doesn't appear to be steeper. I guess you'd have to make a triangle that goes steeper or something like that, or higher with a much, more steep incline. I mean, I don't know how you would model that, but I guess we could start there.
Yeah, but I think you so totally forgetting about scale. If you're standing here and they have the lamppost and they go downwards towards eye level, that's okay. That's 7.5 meters. Thing is, you need to take something that is move even 900 up there. That's a kilometer. That's nothing. And still the change in the angles is small. You need to think about scale. It's not a hallway.
Well, it would represent a hallway if the object stays at a constant elevation. Things in the hallway stay at a constant elevation, Mr. Gronvold.
Yeah.
Nothing's raising or lowering above anything else. Everything is parallel and at more or less the same elevation. And so we see a certain type of visual behavior where things appear to dip toward the level of the eyes. Outside, we see similar behavior with clouds and other things that appear to be staying at the same level as they go away from us and dipping just like in the hallway. So as long as an object is staying at the same elevation as it gets away from us, it will mimic the hallway's behavior. That's why I keep on appealing to it.
So if I have this 1,000 meters up, a kilometer up, how far away did I have to go away from it for it to be at my eye level?
It would go to your eye level around 0.02 degrees of angular resolution. That roughly translates to about the height of the object times 3,000 roughly. But the thing is, vision is not a discrete linear counting package. When you're counting stuff for trigonometry, like, angular resolution or whatever for this math, you need discrete units that are always there when you count. You can't deal with visual units that disappear, that converge, merge, and disappear. That's like counting out a dozen apples that disappear halfway through the counting process. That's why vision does not map perfectly mathematically. You get some general predictions, but they wouldn't be perfect. They would just be general predictions. That's it.
Please rewind a bit. You said the distance would be something divided by 1,000.
The height times 3,000 roughly.
The height times 3,000. Okay. So the height to the sun here is 3,000 miles. So it should be somewhere about here or out there or something. The sun needs to be out there, I guess.
So it's out there, okay, and
even there.
Okay, so it's out there now. Put your observer viewing that object 1 meter off the surface, and let's see if it disappears bottom up. Please do that now, and let's see if that disappears. Let's see if it disappears bottom up when you do that. So we're looking at that faraway object at that rate anyway, and getting a meter close to the surface and seeing if we see it disappear bottom up. Could you get a meter close to the surface, sir?
Lemonbird, please understand, this is a 3D digital model, flat. That doesn't happen here.
We just need to see if if this mimics the visual behavior. Could you get 1 meter off of the surface, sir, and see if that thing in the distance is disappearing bottom up, please, to show proof of concept?
5 minutes ago, you said, I don't listen to you. Why don't you listen to me for once? You
just said what I said was word salad and just tuned out. So at this point, it's plan B, just practically dealing with you and getting you to show the concept. Could you please get a meter off the surface and show if that object that you pulled all the way out there is disappearing bottom up or not? Thank you.
Third time, Lucky. That doesn't happen here.
You have the model right here. Why can't you just demonstrate and show everybody whether or not it appears to be disappearing bottom up based off of your modeling?
Fourth time. That doesn't happen here.
You cannot do that. Is that what you mean?
Bottom up, even
Hold
now.
on, Lemon, let me try. So is that mean that you cannot model that, Tommy?
That doesn't happen on a flat 3D model, sketch model. That doesn't happen.
You cannot model it, or you already got the result that it just doesn't happen. Because if you want to show Lemon what he's asking for, it doesn't happen yet. Yeah. You know that it doesn't happen. So that's what you're showing. There you go. That's what he's showing, Lemon.
That line down there, everything is in that line. That doesn't happen here. A model, a 3D flat model doesn't do what he's asking for.
It's approaching the level of the eyes. It appears that he's showing some of the behavior. So as far as I can tell, this is, modeling at least some of the behavior, even though it's not perfect.
Nothing disappeared bottom first in a 3D model. That's not how 3D modeling works.
That's how Mount Everest disappeared when you got close to the surface. The surface was cut off, but you could see to the right some of the surface already cutting off Mount Everest. So what you're saying is not accurate. The only question is the rate of incline as an object appears to disappear toward the level of the eyes, like looking down a hallway.
The bottom is still there. It doesn't cut anything off from the bottom. That doesn't work in a 3D flat model.
You're already modeling some of this behavior. No model is perfect. It gives general predictions, but some of this behavior is being seen, at least based off of this modeling that you've done. Thank you, sir.
You don't get bottom first disappearance in a 3D model, flat model. If you want that, I have something else for you, of course. Let's see here. Nope. Here you have disappearance bottom first. Because this isn't flat. Down there.
Do you think he's holding back information, Lemonberg? Do you think he can make a model disappear when it's a flat?
I thought that he already did that when he showed himself 1 meter off the surface looking at Mount Everest. To the right, you can see the surface obstructing Mount Everest and appearing to ramp over it, which is what we would expect to see with a bunch of converging visual angles that just merge into what we interpret as a flat surface because it's, probably flat.
That was wishful thinking. That just doesn't happen. Here you have bottom first. There's a wind turbine and a ship over there. That's bottom first because this is a curve.
But we don't see curvature. We see a flat horizon. So you guys are begging the question because you're trying to pay homage constantly to this unnecessary globe model, but it's dead weight that you really need to cut off.
That's curve.
Wait, 11, but he's showing curved.
On the flat one, that just doesn't happen. You can't model bottom-up disappearance on a flat model. That's just impossible. Here.
You can model it if you get the rate of descent toward the level of the eyes correct. As an object gets higher and higher, those yellow triangles that you take from the observer out are not going to be linear. They're going to get steeper and steeper and steeper, and you're going to get different triangles depending on how high up the object is. It's like taking that yellow triangle and pulling it higher up. So you're going to get a steeper rate of descent, not a linear, constant rate of descent like that yellow ramping that you're showing. I think that's what your model is missing.
What do you think, Tommy? Look at that. He told you what you're missing right there.
Yeah. Thing is, his language, I'm not speaking about English now, I speak his language is a bit off.
We're talking about new concepts. It's going to be a little difficult at first. The video by Life is Short goes over this in better detail than I do. And he also shows proof of concept by showing a light across a lake disappear simply by getting close to the lake over the flat surface. I'll put it in the chat. I suggest you watch it. I think we'd have a better meeting of the minds if you watched the video.
Lemon, I gotta follow up on that really quick, Tommy. You watch any of the debunks that Beard the Devil did on Life is Short? He did dozens of videos debunking Life is Short videos, concepts and stuff. You watch any of those?
No.
Beard the Devil, to Lemonberg. Beard the Devil is the man that have debunked Life is Short many times.
How did he debunk them?
Many times in many videos. You gotta watch it, the content on your own time.
I find it strange, Lemonberg, that every observation I have done and model fits just with curvature. I don't need all these strange excuses that you have all the words and stuff. It's just add some curvature and everything fits.
Hot mic, Dr. Bob.
Well, the only thing that we need is curvature, and we don't appear to have that. So the very thing that your model needs appears to be lacking.
No, curvature is here. I showed you that with the straight board here last night or 2 days ago. So yeah, I'm covered.
You showed me data with a particular interpretation, but your interpretation isn't the only game in town. As you're closer to the surface, things will merge into the surface and appear for the third time, to disappear bottom up when nothing's actually obstructing them.
Again, as I just said, I just add curvature and everything fits. I don't need any excuses. You have all these words and excuses and phrases that I don't understand a bit of to make it
But
fit.
you're already
I don't need
making
to use that.
excuses. You're making excuses for curvature that we don't find, and that
What
isn't there
is
by refraction, by talking about refraction and NASA's curved distorted photos, which do not evidence make. So you're already implicitly implying excuses for the curvature that we don't see that's there, and saying that your interpretation can only be interpreted vis-a-vis curvature. That's not going to work.
Is my screen still showing? Do you see the photo there? Sorry, Bob. It's just a lot of noise, Bob.
Yeah, I've measured the curvature personally. It's not in question.
Let's see what people do to measure quote unquote curvature. They look at the horizon, assume that their line of sight is tangent to a ball at that point, a high assumption, and then model a ball based off of the radio that you would derive based off of going tangent to a ball.
It's not what everybody does, but it's one way.
Yeah, I didn't do anything with the horizon limit.
So the key assumption that needs to be challenged there, Dr. Bob, is whether or not our line of sight is hitting the ball tangent to the horizon, or
he didn't use that technique, Lemon.
Hallway,
he didn't do that, Lemon.
Are merging together to make a line.
He didn't do that, Lemon.
Some variation of that.
I didn't use line of sight. I used measurement on the ground.
Okay, then we'll need to
2 points on the ground.
Then we'll need to see the variation of that you did. But when we're talking about Eratosthenes, Al-Biruni, they fall into a couple general camps. A line of sight that hits tangent to the supposed ball, and ratios derived from that assumption, which is all.
Yeah, man, I told you I didn't use line of sight in any way, shape, or form. Why are you arguing against line of sight?
People are
argue against something. Argue against great circle distances.
Okay, people are pretty similar, though, so they tend to go off of similar assumptions. I'll need to see what you did specifically, but that's what I expect to find, frankly.
I measured distances between 2 points on Earth and figured out what the distance was. Matches the sphere. Radius 3959. Period. End of discussion.
Hey, Jose, I changed my screen there, but it doesn't show on YouTube.
It doesn't show?
Photo.
What?
I have a photo up there.
Let me see. All right. It should. Okay, let me see.
I put the video in the chat, Mr. Gronvold. Fast forward to an hour or 30 minutes when you have the time.
Yeah, you're showing that on YouTube. We good.
It's a photo of my water levels.
Oh, then no, it's not. I don't see any of your screen share.
Damn.
No. You gotta stop screen sharing and share that specific window then.
Back and forth. So let's see.
And then reshare.
Yep. Okay.
May I ask a quick question?
Ketchup.
Now you got a picture up. Yeah.
Thanks.
Who's gonna ask a question there before you continue, Tommy?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a quick question. A few days ago, I presented Lemonbird the Mage 2 video and wanted to know if he had watched it yet.
What do you close it, Tommy?
I just go there. I had a picture instead of the screen. It was a window capture, not screen.
Yeah, just leave it up. So we didn't. All right, somebody asked a question there, but leave the picture up. Anybody got an answer?
I had just a window grab, not all the screen.
Right. The person who just asked a question, do you want to ask again before Tommy?
Yeah, sure. I had posted the Mage 2 video that clearly shows Earth's curvature in a non-fisheye lens, and wanted to know if Lemonbird watched the video. He said he hadn't before.
I don't know if Lemon's still here.
I'm still here. He's seen it before, you said? Good. Perhaps he needs to watch it again with new eyes and see something that he missed. Let me see if I can put the proof of concept videos that are much shorter, where it shows a light disappearing over what appears to be a flat surface. Maybe he'll get a kick out of that.
So you didn't watch
You
Mage.
didn't answer my question.
What was your question then? Please feel free to restate it.
Did you watch the full Mage 2 video?
No.
All right.
So much,
for your desire to learn the truth.
I did seek the truth. That's why I became a flat earther. But the main problem with Mr. Gronvold's modeling is it doesn't model steeper triangles. He basically has an object that's 3,000 miles up, and he just has this triangle going up to the object. The thing that misses, though, is these triangles also represent the ramping that we'd see visually for the object, and he needs to represent that with steeper and steeper ramping and effectively a higher triangle. So to represent a higher object, he's going to need a steeper triangle to represent what's seen by the eyes. And that would be represented by the eye as a steeper ramping toward the level of the eyes of the observer as the object gets higher and higher above the observer's level of eyes. With that one yellow triangle that he has, it's not good enough. He's going to need a
Why would the object change height?
So reality doesn't work then. Okay.
That's the way things actually occur in reality visually. If your model is not representing what we actually see with our eyes in reality, then effectively it's no good.
You said things don't change heights.
It stays at a constant height, but it appears to ramp toward the level of the eyes more precipitously. That rate of incline, that descent, is going to need to be represented by a higher, steeper triangle.
Quick math lesson here, Lemon Bird. If you're 6,000 miles away from something that's 3,000 miles up, what's the angle?
3,000 miles up from something 6,000 miles high?
All the way around. 6,000 miles away
3,000 miles high and you're 6,000, that's like 1/2. So the tangent would be 1/2. Opposite over adjacent for the tangent would be 1/2 if it's 3,000 over 6,000. The tangent of 1/2, want to say, let me see, across from you is 1. So that would be the shortest angle. I'd say that would be 30 degrees, but I may be incorrect based off of my unit triangles. I think the tangent of 30 degrees gives you a ratio of 1/2. Because normally when you take the ratio of the sides of the triangle, it maps to a certain angle in a right triangle, and 1/2 for your tangent or of the side opposite you to the divided by the side next to you for the angle would only work in a right triangle for something like 30 degrees, I believe.
Something around there, yeah, 30 degrees. So I have 23 and 27 degrees to where the sun is supposed to be at sunrise and sunset. Why would that be down at eye level?
I already answered that by saying that vision is not discrete and mathematic. So those units that you need to be preserved. Well, this is a very key concept. Let's try to have a meeting of the minds about this. Vision is not discrete like that. It's not a bunch of apples that you count out that are preserved throughout the counting process. So that tangent of 30 degrees is useless with your units of vision converging, merging, and disappearing, making the math useless. It's just a general prediction at that point, but it is not just iron set. It's a general prediction. That is all.
You just took a 30-degree angle and just whoosh it away.
Because it's already merged into the surface. And that rate that you're talking about for 30 degrees to be seen with the object is contingent on a constant rate of dipping toward the level of the eyes. That's not the case. Depending on how high the object is, it's going to incline toward the level of the eyes at a different rate, making your math useless.
At what distance, please? At the sun, 3,000 miles up. At what distance will that be at my eye level?
Most of the flatty literature that I've seen from Robotham and stuff say that it disappears around 10,000 miles away. But that's because you're too close to the surface. If you could levitate up high enough to where the sun is, you would see it for longer because you have a wider visual angle. And you could see it beyond 0.02 degrees of angular resolution or whatever unit we're going to use for when the object effectively appears to merge with the surface.
So again, as I said last time here, the sun is just about the same distance all over the day in the winter here. Midday is 5,872 and at sunset 5,900. That's a 30-mile difference. And still it goes from up in the sky and down to the eye level.
You're close to the center, Mr. Gronvold. For you, since you're close to the center, you have a pie slice range of vision that covers more distance than somebody who's out further along the pie slice. Basically, it's like looking through a pinhole in a wall at somebody who you can see through the pinhole with your pie slice of vision going out and covering a bigger visual range than somebody who's outside that range beyond the pinhole trying to see you through a very limited opening. You have a huge visual range and can see the sun basically with a bigger visual range for longer from the center of the flat plane than somebody who's further out over the flat plane and has a much more limited visual slice relative to you. And so you have a 24-hour sun, or you tend to have a 24-hour sun, versus somebody who's further out who tends not to have that.
Do you ever listen to yourself? Seriously?
None of that made sense.
It's
As I
just like
said-
looking through a pinhole.
closer together?
It makes a lot of sense when you look through a pinhole.
I just have to say curvature, and everything fits every single observations I've done.
But
And
you don't have curvature.
So everything else that you say, all these excuses, do you think that's make more sense than just
We have
curvature?
practical demonstration. You have nothing but theory. Just like looking through a pinhole, you're at the North Pole looking through the pinhole at the sun. You have a wider visual range and you can see more than the other person beyond that pinhole. You can see
Why?
the person through the pinhole, but the person beyond the pinhole cannot see you because their visual range has been limited. That's why you see the 24-hour sun for longer from the central position, but somebody outside of that range tends to see a limited range and see the sunset. It's the same thing.
Can I have 15 seconds? I want to give a big, proper thank you and shout out to everybody watching. Oh, I got my watch page open. Shame on me. Big shout out to everybody watching. Thank you so much for being here. 59 people watching. That is freaking great. Thank you for being here. But I'm a little let down because I see only 33 thumbs up. Having almost 60 people watching, 33 thumbs up, it's not that great. It's good, but we can do it a lot better if you guys go ahead and click the like on this video. Big thank you to everybody that are here because you are part of the 790 subscribers already. Thank you. And if you want to support, buy me an energy drink, you can do so using a PayPal link pinned above on the chat box. Thank you very much. I'm gonna share my camera. I finished my drawing. You don't need to stop. I'm gonna reshare you again if you want to. But let me turn my camera on and share it for YouTube so they can see the result. Let me share for YouTube. Hold on. Okay, that should hopefully work. And Lemonbird, are you ready to see my masterpiece today? You see my camera? See my ugly mug over here?
Yeah.
I see your handsome, beautiful, beatific mug, yes.
Like very, very islander, Puerto Rican looking mug. Damn it, I cannot.
I'm going to stop screen.
Yeah, stop screen sharing because that's what's messing me up, I think.
You said I didn't need it. There you are.
I
back out.
did art, you see?
Oh, that's gorgeous.
See what I have done.
That boom. Very nice.
We got the Tesla Roadster flying, dragging a banner that says boom, boom, while Wile E. Coyote follows the Roadrunner trying to capture it, this time using a SpaceX engineering rocket. I think it came out really good. I am really happy with the results. What do you guys think? No, he lighted up. He's still the fuse on the rocket is still not on because he actually lighted up his own tail right there.
Someone ruined my childhood earlier, saying that the Roadrunner runs faster than the bird. The wolf runs faster.
Yeah. What do you guys think? It's good, right? I mean, it's just drawing. It's just a cartoon.
I think that's really good, Jose. I'm jealous. You draw way better than I do, you bastard.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Look at that. Look at that little. Look at that. Broom, broom.
Hey, we know it's up there. We've got the video footage.
I have just done this. I mean, it was like looking at the internet and stuff, but it's cool, man. I like it. So this,
Nice.
yeah, this is for auction over there. Just send me a little something that is a little at least pay for the shipping, so I can send it to you. Give me a few dollars for an energy drink and a pack of cigarettes, and money for the shipping, and you own it. So holler at me. Thank you very much. I want to stop my screen.
Actually, Jose, did you sign it?
Yeah, look. You see
yes, okay. I see the JG down at the bottom. I just thought
signature is JG right there. Yeah, that's me, Jose Gonzalez. Boom.
I don't want to spoil your thing there, but you know that in real life, a coyote's faster than a
No,
don't
shatter my dreams. Don't shatter my dreams.
And the other thing is, how do we know that's actually Jose and not Flip Flop?
This right here. I know that Jose had a great beard, fantastic beard. But this is good. Yeah.
You never see Jose and Flip Flop in the same room together.
All really intelligent men have beards.
I used to be on Jose and Flip Flop was in the same room together. I did this one a long time ago. Look at this one. Not a long time, a few months ago or something.
Wow.
This one is good. This one a little while ago. It's good.
I'm really jealous.
I like it. I like it a lot.
It's cool.
And this is my palette to test, the colors. Like, is this one? No, this one a little close. That's what I was going. Doing my little. This is my color for testing the colors and the shadings and stuff. It's good.
I think I'm 3 years older than you, Jose. Please never grow up.
I won, man. You see, I did Iron Man, like Marvel characters. This one got a little messy over there, little thing. I got Marvel characters. I got cartoons, Wile E. Coyote. I like doing drawings, cartoons and stuff. You know what? I'm really good drawing Disney characters. But hey, it is my skills. I can draw people, but it takes a lot of work. I just like doing cartoons and easier stuff like that.
Florida, you should go work for Disney.
No. All right. Good looking out. Appreciate it. Anybody want to screen share over here again? The floor.
Is Lemonbird still there?
He is.
Yeah, he's here.
I also heard Lemonbird say something that was it this stream or last stream about Horizon always rise to... No, sorry. That was from a debate with MC Toon a year ago. It was
the Horizon rises toward the level of the eyes. The level of the eyes. But at the level of the eyes, gentlemen, is a layer of air that's probably paper thin when you're close to the ground. As you get higher, this layer of air between you and the actual flat surface beneath your feet will appear to widen. So it will drop from the level of the eyes, or appear to, but it will still ramp toward the level of the eyes, which is more than enough to imitate a flat surface, just like looking over a table.
The thing is that the level of the eye is above the horizon.
If you're talking about the horizon where the sky meets the ground, there's a layer of air between you and the ground. So the horizon will be expected to be slightly below the level of the eyes anyway. But since it ramps toward the level of the eyes, appears to rise up toward the level of the eyes, that imitates a flat table, which is enough for us to infer pretty comfortably that it's flat and not a ball.
Okay, what altitude it is? There's always a layer of air between you and the horizon. Always.
Yeah, but that layer would thicken as you get higher up. So you would see the separation between you and the surface more and more that is unnoticeable when you're close to the ground. But the flat surface beneath your feet appears to ramp up toward the level of the eyes, just like looking over a table, not over a ball.
Can you point to any sort of science or actual tested evidence to show that this is the case? Or is this a hypothesis or an idea in your head?
Well, people show bottom-up obstruction, showing that you don't need a ball to obstruct what's beyond. That's enough to make an inference right there that a flat surface is sufficient to make something
that's got nothing to do with the air layer, has it?
Are you talking about demonstrable, observable, repeatable science, or bland, non-demonstrable theory? Because people are showing this proof.
Well, it sounds like you're doing bland, nonsensical theory at the moment.
I'm giving you 5 zeros. I'm giving you this dude, life is short. I'm giving you pea brain that get close to the surface, be it the floor, the wall, the ceiling, and showing bottom up obstruction. Actual, demonstrable, observable, quote unquote, science. You're talking about bland theory with no application and no practicality. So
again, what I have a problem with there is no, that wasn't actual science. That was just someone taking a video. There was no methodology, and P-Brain's one I can speak on because I've actually seen that quite recently. There was no methodology. There was no explanation of his setup. There was no actual leveling of the actual camera itself, which is a problem in itself, Lemon. And I've yet to see someone doing that on a flat table where they've kind of done that. What we tend to see, and it's been observed and demonstrated multiple times in multiple rebuttal videos, is the lens is always slightly below the level of the table.
They explain it with the same explanation: converged narrow viewing angle. Your visual range is dependent on how high above the surface you are, even when it's flat with no obstruction. Your visual range will narrow as you get closer to the surface. The horizon will be brought in, and objects that are way too tall will appear to set behind the horizon that's brought in the closer to you in the foreground. They explain this with narrow viewing.
It doesn't explain why, you know, a mountain 5 miles tall will disappear. That does not explain it by
it appears to disappear
because we have no problem. 1 second, can I just do that? We have no problem with the size of that mountain and the size of the range. It's 5 miles high in a range of mountains 250 miles long. Now you can actually do the calculation, say how far away for you would that need to be to get to the point of not being resolvable. And it's a fucking long way.
But the problem with your calculations is you're implying that vision has discrete units, discrete quanta that can be mathematically mathed out and manipulated for your formula. The problem with that is vision is not made of discrete quanta. It doesn't have things that are preserved throughout the counting process. It has things that disappear. So trying to math something like that will be deceptive. At best, you'd have guiding math that would give you a general ballpark, but it would not necessarily be prescriptive, not unless you can point to the quantized unit that is preserved throughout the counting process. You cannot do that.
The hell?
Yeah,
he's basically saying that because we can't count every single photon coming into the I'll translate this into English. Because we can't count for every single photon coming into the camera lens, and I'm taking this away from an eyeball. I'm just going to use a lens because, for me that is quantifiable. Because otherwise, if you couldn't calculate accurately the refractive index of that lens, you wouldn't know its focal length. If you don't know its focal length, you can't fucking focus it. And guess what? We can focus lenses over very long distances, hundreds of miles, thousands of miles, millions of miles, tens of billions of miles, and still resolve an object with the right type of instrument. So again, I would say that because we can actually use a microscope to see something really tiny, and we can use a telescope to see something really long way away, that what you're saying is, unfortunately,
only if you're high enough above the surface. If you're not high enough above the surface, objects will tend to set bottom first if they're really tall above the surface.
Yeah, because of Earth curve, Lemon. I agree.
No, there's no Earth curve. You're acting like Earth curve's the only way to interpret the theory. The flat earthers are presenting pretty new principles of optics to practically solve the problem in a much more organic and much more natural way.
They're making excuses. They are inventing things in the back of their head like you do on a fairly regular basis. Sorry to be this blunt.
We're demonstrating proof of concept. You can't even give a demonstration.
I hadn't even finished my point, but thank you.
I feel comfortable interrupting you because you're waxing rhetorical and you're not really informing the conversation. You're saying that you're making excuses, blah, 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 blah. You're not really informing the conversation. It's just bland rhetoric. So anyway, we're showing proof of concept.
Anyway, I would like to finish my point now, then. I'd let you speak. I didn't interrupt you, and I would like to actually finish up. Thank you. And the problem I have is it is a big book of excuses that's brought out. Well, it could be this. Well, it could be that. Well, it could be something else. Great. I don't have a problem with people coming up with ideas. But when you want to claim that those ideas supersede established evidence, you need a really freaking strong case. And I'm sorry, bluntly, you just don't have one.
You don't even have evidence. You have curved, distorted pictures from NASA and questionable, inconsistently applied theory that you have to pad with any amount of refraction to explain why we see too far over this supposed geometric ball. We have
there was a refraction limit.
actual demonstrable proof of concept and much more consistent theory than you guys. I'm sorry.
Isn't there a refraction? Isn't there a refraction limit for the atmosphere, Lemon?
Lemon.
There's a refraction limit for the unit of visual space you're peering through. If you have a 6-foot zone of visual space, it will reach a refraction, diffraction, whatever the fuck limit you're talking about, just like a 6-foot object will. Eventually, it will converge, merge, and disappear, just like the 6-foot pole does.
Now you're talking about angular resolution, not refraction.
Visual space will disappear and form a horizon. All the principles.
Yeah, but you're now talking about angular resolution, the inability for us to resolve an object at distance, where two objects will merge into one, for instance. That's nothing to do with the refraction limit of the atmosphere. It can affect how that object may be distorted at the limits of our vision. Don't have a problem with that. But it says nothing to do with the actual resolvability of that image.
So we have all the information we need to solve the problem now of why the horizon forms. Just like a 6-foot pole will disappear after 3 to 6 miles, a 6-foot zone of vision will disappear into what appears to be a point about 3 to 6 miles away. If you pair that with the 3 to 6 foot zone above the level of the eyes, these two visual zones will come together and merge into a point. When you extend that point infinitely to the left and the right, voila, you have a horizon that forms in the foreground. And anything that's taller that needs a vanishing point further than what the eye can accommodate at its low height will appear to set while it tries to go toward its true vanishing point in the distance. All of the principles are there over a flat plane.
You do have
I'm so glad to say that. Wow. So glad to say that.
Yeah, so Lemon.
And yet the sun sets at full angular size.
It changes size with a filter and without one. Even that excuse is cheap. We've shown it change size with a filter, like with Phuket World, with his cheap filter, and we show it changing size without one, obviously. This excuse in moving the goalpost of saying you can only see the true size of the sun with a solar filter is bunk.
No, well, not to solar photographers, it isn't. But Lemon, you keep saying, and you keep saying it, eyes. Every single person on this panel sees something differently. Eyes are not a good way, and words are not a good way to describe what our eyes see. We use cameras. We use sensors with pixels. Those pixels get illuminated by photons hitting them. So we do record this. Everybody knows this. It's nothing about human eye. We always see examples with cameras. No one sees other people's examples with eyes. You need to move away from that. I'm sharing something for you at the moment. It's just a perspective example.
I am sharing you for YouTube, Distinguished. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So Lemon, this is a perspective example. Perspective we'll just describe very quite simply as the further away it gets, the smaller it gets. Now, I'm leaving one caveat out there, the rate of change and the direction that we would move it away from us. Because obviously, the fastest way to decrease the size of something in our view, in our field of view, our camera's field of view, is for it to go directly away from the camera. Now, I've got an example here that I want you to consider. On the right, we're looking at a 4,000-mile high red pillar that's just shooting off up into the heavens, hopefully avoiding the dome. And we're seeing them spread out over the course of 1,000 miles each. Now, I'm looking at it with an incredibly wide field of view. A camera can do this. I've also got one that's an incredibly tight field of view, which is actually 3,000 millimeters, which is what the P1000 would do. And we can see that if I switch to the P1000 view, I can still quite clearly see these pillars. I'm actually looking up into the middle of the last one. And we can see that the angle of that is like so. That is the angle. There is no way I would ever be looking down at the middle of that pillar that is 4,000 miles high, 24,000 miles away, which is, I think, how many I've got here. We can also see that I've put lateral slats across the top of these 4,000 kilometer high pillars. Now, there is no difference in doing this on a small scale or a huge scale, which is what Tommy was trying to tell you. Perspective does not care about the scale. It is a proportion to the distance. If I have 4,000 mile high pillars and 24,000 miles of them spaced 1,000 miles apart is no different to having 4 centimeter high pillars 1 centimeter apart. The result is the same. If you can present evidence where this is false, please do so, because it would change everybody's reality forever. Oh, and by the way, shit, I just did this as well for you, Lemon. So you see that I get what you mean about this. So rocket goes up, goes like that, and comes down, and it's going off into the graveyard. However, if we have a look, it's actually going into geostationary orbit over a curving Earth. Just thought I'd tell you. Cheers.
Or it's curving to avoid a barrier like a structure overhead that the rocket can't get past. So I think there's several ways to model this, gentleman, and we need to compare models for consistency and what they're, rationally trying to state as propositions in the model. Basically, we look down a hallway and we see what appears to be 2 zones of vision that are converging and merging. Therefore, vision cannot be discrete enough to be mathematically manipulated. A certain point, the math that you're talking about implies units of vision that are preserved throughout the counting process. So you have a huge fallacy there.
Very quickly, just one very quick point. Lemon, in that case, if you're saying that, we can't create any sort of quanta around this, which means you can't model it, how do you suppose that we should compare these 2 models?
I need to say this. That's what I was gonna try to say before you asked the question. Now we're gonna forget you. Now we're gonna forget because I need 30 seconds to hold on. I see you to let you know that you own the picture that I just did. The drawing that I just did. He paid for it on PayPal. Thank you. Hold on. It's a down payment for the drawing made by the great Jose J.G., a.k.a. possibly the next Picasso, Van Gogh, or something or whatever, according to Lemon. Thank you very much. And I got your street name. You are in the Glass Ceiling Boulevard. Oh, no, wait, wrong address. In the Pickle Tickle Parkway. I got your address. Thank you, sir. On Tuesday or Wednesday will be mailed. Thank you so much. Hold on.
I'll just restate that question very quickly, just so it's not lost.
And he forgot to add something. I'm gonna interrupt in a few minutes to read the last of his comment. But I'm gonna let you guys finish your thought there.
So yeah, Lemon, if we can't quantify either proposition, how would you compare them?
You would get a model that is close enough and good enough. That would give general predictions. You would need to have a threshold beyond which the image is no longer interpreted as anything but a line, essentially. You would need to model a threshold beyond which the image is just simply dropped, and that is either interpreted as disappearance or a line between 2 zones of vision, like looking down the hallway. If there is no threshold in your modeling, then it doesn't represent the activity.
We've got that for the globe. Hold on, you're going on a bit. We've got that for the globe. Where's the flat one? Where's your model?
I see Globers try badly to model how it would look.
No, where's your model? Not someone else's model, because this is your
all the
thoughts,
principles
your
are
ideas.
There for a model to be formed from this point. We just
but
have
nobody's
to
done it well yet, Lemon, so
sort of
maybe we need to take the responsibility here.
So you would have to show a threshold with your modeling at, 0.02 degrees of angular resolution or 1 pixel or whatever threshold you could put in that modeling of yours, beyond which the image just appears to
it's your model.
Into a line.
No, the flat model is your model. It's not our model.
Just really quickly, Lemon, when you say a pixel, a pixel is just an output element, yeah, and it's the smallest that we can do, either digitally or from a photograph. But that does not relate in any way, shape, or form to the physical size of the area that captured. That is due to focal length, and just like Druss, or whatever he's calling himself these days, just said earlier, we have telescopes that can go onto a digital film back that records a pixel that is less than 0.000001 degree. Or we can have a wide-angle camera that has 0.05 degrees represented in a single pixel. We have the ability to change this. Now, what just said is, we have this model here. All I have to do to come up with any correct proposition, any correct prediction for the Terminator line or the exact path of the sun through the sky is to rotate the sphere. And that is it. It works. How do you propose we do one for the flat Earth that's just as simple and is useful and works?
Well, just because something's simple doesn't mean that it's true. And what I mean by true, it actually reflects all of the conditions. You're talking about a curved ball, but we don't have curvature. So you're just looking at the data and inferring something that simply works for you, but doesn't appear to be foundationally true, aka the preconditions aren't there for what you're saying to actually be, namely actual curvature, actual tilt, or anything actual in the model.
So first of all, I do not claim this to be absolute truth. All I claim is, given the current science and understanding, this is what they say the size, the angle, and the distance of things are. And with that information alone, and only ever rotating the sphere, it can do correct Terminator line predictions, the exact path of the sun through the sky, explain seasons. It can do all of that. And not only individually, it can do that together. Now, yes, I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying it's 100% correct so far and incredibly useful.
If it isn't true, then why are you exploring it as if it is? That's contradictory. You're going forward as if it is true and trying to imply that this model is so accurate because it more or less reflects the conditions in reality. That's not true. There are several models that can model the conditions in a similar way, and something flat that takes into account the flatness of our world appears to take into account the preconditions better than a supposed ball.
Nope. If I can share just 30 seconds before I leave.
That's a very serious claim, that, Lemon, because, like I said to you, this can predict this path of the sun, if you're looking. It can predict this path of the sun through my sky on today's date, give or take half a degree. Now, it's a lot more accurate than half a degree, but I like to say half a degree because sometimes I'm misplacing where I am on here, and sometimes I might get the date a little bit wrong. But either or, it does it perfectly. I love it. It's fantastic. It even predicts the Terminator line, and all I'm doing is rotating a sphere. Everything matches reality for every single place on this planet and works every single time. I'm still not saying this is true, but what I can say to you with my absolute confidence is that when I try and model this perception here, this right-hand perception, which is what I use to figure out whether I should get solar panels or not, because it's from my point of view right now in the winter, where do I get this profile on a flat Earth of the sun doing this?
It's just overhead. Could you model the way that it would look to somebody, say, in, let's go with the tip of Africa? Could you model what would be seen by somebody at Cape Horn for the sunset and sunrise?
Yeah. I don't need to model it. This is it. It's just rotation. All I'm doing is moving our position. So right now we are at the coast of Africa. This is it, bottom left. We're seeing the, we're seeing the southern tip of Africa here. And throughout the course of a day, this is their exact path of the sun in their sky. It will rise near enough 10 degrees east of southeast. It will rise to an elevation of at least, let's say, 15 degrees off zenith. and it will come down and it will set obviously 20 odd degrees south of west. And this will match. I've done it across the globe many times for many different people. And the weird thing is, this explains things that can't be explained on a flat Earth, such as how are you looking south of east for a sunrise in Australia? This does it perfectly every single time. Awesome. Never works on a flat Earth.
It does kind of look like those two places are pointing at two diametrically opposite zones in space. The Cape of Horn of Africa appears to be pointing totally opposite to where that point you had was before. So as far as I can see, this is just a generalized model, but the geometry of it just doesn't really make sense. Now with that small pinhole sun in the sky, but two places that appear to be diametrically opposite to each other still somehow pointing to the same object. That's kind of contradictory. I guess my main point is we can model really anything, but that doesn't mean that the model is consistent with reality. We'd have to investigate this further.
May I share for 30 seconds before I have to leave?
Yeah.
It's funny you said that again, Lemon Bird, because I just need to share that. Stinger and I are using two totally different programs. He's using, is it Blender? And I'm using SketchUp. I never even talked to him. We shared a message here just last week or something. The thing is, if you see my screen here now, I have made 229 different models. Not all of them are flat Earth, but most of them are. And not even one of them works. Not one. And I also have many here with the globe, and all of them works. Strange. Out of 229 different models, and there's a sundial, so small in the middle here. That one works on the globe. Doesn't work on the flat Earth. Here is one from Sydney. That one there. That sunrise and sunset doesn't work on the flat Earth. It works on the globe.
It's not showing that for YouTube right now, but just I still got Stingray up.
Oh, yeah, Stingray is still on. Stingray there.
You want to share? I'll share you. I'll share you over here for YouTube if you want to share.
Okay, yeah, I'm going back to the screen. There.
I'll put you up in 10 seconds.
Good so.
No, still Stingray.
Yeah, you good. Yep.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so out of all of these models in SketchUp, which is not Blender, I have yet to make one single model work on flat Earth. It just doesn't happen, what I do. And if I have one model that I can tweak and cheat and do anything to make it work, I can't do that same thing on the next model of anything else. I can't make the same, not even prediction, but I can't make the same adjustment from two models to make it work. I need to do something completely different to make it work. However, on the sun here, on the globe here, on the globe zone, I can put anything on one globe and everything works. Sundials, observations, the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway Bridge, and everything fits on the globe at the same time. Here, angles to Polaris down here on the right side. Everything fits on the globe. Nothing fits on any flat surface. And I don't need any adjustments. It's just working on the globe. So yeah, models work. And now we have to go. Jose, thank you so much for having me on. And I really like your channel.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you coming in, and you're welcome anytime, brother.
Thank you. And again, thank you for contribution on my video.
You got it, brother. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tommy.
Bye.
Okay, Tommy.
Where did it go now?
Do it.
And to see something in the background, we got the Stingray screen share. Actually, I'm gonna screen share 1 second. I'm gonna share my drawing over here for YouTube, so you can see it better. Scroll up, Jose. There you go. If I open this and I screen share this, you should be able to click and see it. That's after I stop watching Stingray. There you go. Yeah.
Nice. I think you should do a picture very similar like that, but have Daily Boom.
Maybe.
So who do you think's the flat earther? Wile E. Coyote or
I don't know, man, because he's using SpaceX technology, but I don't know what he wants to accomplish.
But we've never seen him use SpaceX technology outside the atmosphere because I don't think he thinks it works there.
Yeah. It's good, man. And no, check this absurdity on the Zoom. If I click in here, boom. You can see all the details. I should
really
use
so
this
cool.
when I'm drawing, to see the details from close. Let me see this fire over here. Yeah, good. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that match, man. That's skills right there.
What are you using, paint or ink?
This is pencil colors.
That's mad. Because you're getting really nice bright colors even with pencils.
Yeah. I could I could have taken my time to make it like smooth and perfect, but it's a little bit rough, but this is it, man. Look at that SpaceX logo, bro. It's good. The ropes and shit. It's actually
I'm Jose.
pretty
I
good.
can draw so fucking well.
It's actually pretty good. Hey, I'm happy, man. I gotta brag a little bit. At least I do something good.
Right, man.
Oh man. Madness. Look at the Acme Corporation. It was a little tricky, but it's cool, man. I appreciate the drawing. Maybe. I mean, boom, boom.
Acme is now Amazon.
Yeah, and yeah, Paul said, look at the arm, look at the Starman guy, like he just feeling on the window, the arm resting right here.
That's used to shading that I hate. That's just so nice. Anyway. The thing I wanted to say very quickly is it me, or every time that Lemon Bird comes up with a really, really, really annoying argument that he just can't woo around, that he disappears?
Yes. I don't know. I just want to answer Dora Unku. Dora Unku is asking me if I'm using pencils because I'm keep eating the crayons. Yes, I have to use pencils because the crayons are gone. I gotta buy me another jumbo pack of crayons so I can eat them.
I actually think you should redo that image, but use rather than what's the bird called? Oh, what's wrong with me?
Roadrunner.
Roadrunner. Do a lemon bird instead. And make it go woo woo.
Woo woo.
Down a hallway.
Yeah, down a hallway. Woo woo. Oh man, that's good. Good times. Good times.
Did Lemon leave?
Yeah, of course he did.
Oh yeah.
I wanted him to address.
It happens every single time. When someone pushes him to the point where his woo just really is not cutting the mustard. I
just wanted him to address the video that Earth is Life put in there.
No. You really thought he's going to address that, showing a sunset?
The size is 9 times 12 inches. That's for hold on. I don't know how to transfer that to centimeters. 9 inches to 12 inches.
I'm trying to make Stingray Monitor envy of me at the moment because I can't compete with him on GPU and hardware.
You can't.
Thank you,
I
thank you,
hate to
thank
tell you this, that you can't compete with me on monitor either. Oh, monitors.
You've
you. The
upgraded your
Stingray.
monitors as well. Damn you.
The Stingray, can you draw?
Yes, and paint.
No, but
Oh, well,
like this,
wait a
by
minute.
hand.
Whoa.
Can
Wait
you
a
do a
minute.
drawing like this by hand?
I've not really done that kind of cartoony style, but I could maybe sketch it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not hard. It's easy, you know.
But no, well, believe it or not, I haven't done sketching in I don't know, 10 years.
Right.
The last drawing I did is about 10 years old, I think.
Mm. There you go. Are you ready to screen share Stingray again?
Oh yeah, I'll just
you
illustrate
screen
the
share.
thing for Gary again.
I'll present you for YouTube now. Everybody will see you now.
He loves this this question, and he tries to say it's just some magical things that he comes up with. So these are actually the tropics on a flat Earth. So let's think about what we have to do to make this work for people in Australia, especially Melbourne, Australia, that see a sunrise actually outside the ice wall. Their sunrise actually starts about here. That's where their sunrise starts. So pretty difficult on a flat Earth that's got a rotating magic levitation sun going around it. So that's problem number one. Problem number two that you've got to solve as a flat earther is the inverse square law of light fall off. This is something that is going to be incredibly difficult to solve, as any light source we can measure and we can see that the energy from it has a fall off. We call that the inverse square law, which means here in Australia, if this was indeed how things were, and they were experiencing a day, over here would be about 20 times dimmer, 1/20th of the light. But that's okay, because we'd still have twilight across the other side of the Earth instead of this mapped terminator line. And then, again, just a brilliant photo that you could take as a flat earther in Australia. You could actually take a photo of, in the daytime, of the sun through the nighttime. Just saying, that would be spectacular. Unfortunately, nothing works, so you can't do that. But Gary, you are welcome to have a go at this model. You and Lemon are welcome to come into Jose's show and just show me where I'm going wrong with this. We don't even have to have continents in, because I've actually placed myself, the observer, everywhere to try and match my reality. And you know, the closest I got was way out here. That's the closest I've ever got to matching a prediction, because that's what the sun does now. It does this. Never quite get down to the horizon, but the size is about right, and the actual movement in the lateral space is a little bit short, but we'll just say it's correct. But yeah, so 80,000 miles outside the ice wall is where I need to be, instead of in the center where I actually am, that does match with just rotating a sphere. And that's it. Look at that angular size change of that sun, eh? Look at that. Look how big that is. Look how small that is. Look how big that is.
Huge
difference. Look how small that is. Look how big that is. Jesus. Oh, and flat Earth does have weather as well, don't worry. And what weather back on there? We're looking through clouds now. There we go.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man.
We'll just go back to the model that always works. And it's a shame this always works, because it'd be fantastic if it didn't. I'd be famous. Well, I'd share that fame with the Flat Earther, but unfortunately, I can't get it to fail. Bit annoyed.
Gary, have you made a hallway model?
Oh, what? What do you ask?
If Gary made if the Stingray made a hallway model.
Oh, yeah, I've made Lemon Vision as well. I've actually made Lemon Vision. These are actually my Flat Earth. You really need to understand these concept examples. And what we're looking at now is on the left here, we're looking at an actual hallway of what happens. And if we zoom in, see all the doors? There we go. Zoom out. There we go. On the middle here, this is Lemon Vision. So the hallway ramps up and this ramps down to the center line of the vision.
Lemon Vision? I like that.
Lemon Vision. So this is what happens in Lemon's reality. And then this is it just modeled on a curve because I thought, hey, there we go. That's what would happen. But Lemon Vision requires some pretty interesting things to have happen. I have to physically bring the roof down to the floor, intersect them, then diverge them in reality to create this visual. But it matches Lemon's vision and his reality, so that's cool. Just don't be down this end of the hallway. Would be bad for you.
You need to add some unicorns. Be perfect for his vision.
It was a shame because I did want to ask him why he thinks things fall down. But anyway, yes, well done, Tommy, for the examples. I liked them. Doing a new game asset. I'm actually creating a game. And this is the art style that we're going for. In case anybody cares.
We care.
Bet you do. So yes, this is going to be the art style that we're going for.
Earth is Life keep posting the pictures over here with a sun setting where it appears to go either inside the water or something is going on there. Shame that we see that in real life. So is the sun going inside the water? Now, when I see the sun going, appears to go inside the water. If I got a very fast speedboat or a little airplane, can I follow the sun and I can see where it goes on the inside the water, or it will never set, right? If I keep following the sun.
Well, it has to go into the water on a flat Earth.
I think it'd be steam and splash.
My dogs are going crazy. They're calling on me. We're going to have to do a round of final thoughts. We're going to wrap it up for the day. Stingray, you're up and presenting. You want to wrap it up first?
Yeah, no, good show today, Jose. I enjoyed Tommy doing his presentations. And it was quite civil. It's just a shame that Lemon didn't stick around to answer a few more questions, because I do think my suggestion to yourself, Jose, is considering Lemon and Gary seem to have, I'm not going to say delusion because that's the wrong word and it's a little bit derogatory, but a very serious inclination that what they believe is reality and it works. Then I invite them to come on, and with either myself or Tommy would be able to do it, and they can show us what we're missing on our flat earth models to make everything work, because I've never made anything work on flat earth without something being wrong. And I just want something that can make predictions and be absolutely useful. And as it stands, flat earth is just so far from useful, it's useless. Cheers.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Appreciate it. You want to leave the screen share for a few extra minutes, so we got the final thoughts with something in the background. All right. I want to say before everybody do their final thoughts for the audience. The first comments on the videos, when you come back in the comment section, the first comment will be pinned, unless it's a comment like very derogatory and very harsh or very weirdly strange or insult or some shit like that. Whatever comment you type, if you are the first comment in the comment section in the videos, your comment will be pinned. But when you go in the comment section that there's already a comment, please don't turn back. Leave your comment anyway. So I appreciate that feedback after the show is up and rendered on YouTube. And leave a like, don't forget that. Let's go with Shaik. Final thoughts?
Yeah, well, we're not going to change their mind, but we can have a little entertainment. Good show, thank you.
Thank you very much. And hold on, shout out to you, man. He got the drawing is yours with the Wile E. Coyote SpaceX rocket. It will be mailed to him very soon. Big shout out to Hold On. Farmer's Boy, final thoughts?
That was painful. The Earth's not flat. Grow the fuck up. There you go.
Thank you very much. Wilton969 says 800 subscribers by Monday. Dude, I say 800 subscribers by tomorrow. Saturday, hopefully we can have a show over here. Maybe I gotta do a little work on the bathroom. If I don't know, we might have a show, we might not. But tomorrow we must have 800 subscribers. We're looking good. Thank you, Farmers Boy again. Grubus, final thoughts.
Jose, I actually missed most of the stream, so I don't really have any thoughts per se. So got home
You
late from work.
You better make something up, man.
Final thoughts. Yeah, the Earth is a globe, man.
There you go. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And Steve Rorino, final thoughts.
Not much. Just entertaining. I will just never get over how diluted Lemon Bird is. Just absolutely amazing.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. And I have one question. Is there any evidence? I mean, first of all, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Jose Yaji out. Boom! My last question, is there any evidence for a flat Earth? Boom!